Here we go. We're gonna stick with me. And there's something that I'm gonna do real quick. Let's drop this down to 30. Okay. Let's rejoin the others.
Go through this parkour.
Hi! I am back.
Hello! Welcome back! It's not like I've been streaming this whole time!
Anyway, how you doing, Sydney?
I'm doing pretty good, thank you. Or should you say Eve?
Yep. Because if you guys did not know, Sydney played Eve.
Ta-da!
We have a lot to talk about with in terms of Eve's character, because she played a lot into my story and everything that went on with me. And I wrote it that way.
Yeah, I love how like they gave me the character of Eve, and then I just made her to my own little thing. Yeah. And honestly, she's like one of my favorites that I ever played.
Which is kind of what you do. Kind of what you do.
That is true.
Yeah. Oh, still waiting for more folks to join in the chat. I'm seeing all of them so
Mr.
far.
Panda.
Mm-hmm.
Heyo.
Heyo, welcome.
Hello,
back.
Mr. Panda.
Welcome, welcome.
I don't want to hear it from you, Sydney.
Don't you mean Eve?
No. That is over. We're here talking about Eden because it's over.
Oh. Funny enough, I actually did that yesterday, and then I did a part 2 today.
Oh my goodness. What, a part 2 stream? What is this? It's a stream. It's supposed to be a long experience. Not cut up into parts.
Look, it was starting to get really late, so I was like, I need to go to bed.
Just don't have a bed, then you can't go to it.
Oh
Goodness. Wow. Okay.
I'm correct.
Wow,
You cannot go
Mr.
to bed
Panda.
if you do not have a bed.
Mr. Sin. Mr. Sin Panda.
He is gone. Erased.
You call
So
her
I'm
Elizabeth?
okay,
Yes.
I already just got a raid. Hold on. Give me 2 minutes.
Wow. Okay. Or call her Elizabeth. Yes. Eve's real name was Elizabeth. Just like how Unknown's name was Levi, which, funny enough to those of you watching, I made up the name Levi. It was my idea.
Yay!
Because I wrote it in my backstory. So they're like, hey, we're gonna run with this. I have a story for that as well. I'm just gonna go ahead and tell the story about it, even though nobody asked. So his name was Levi because it was derived by the snake in the Garden of Eden, like the tale from the Bible.
Oh yeah, I know that story.
Yeah, which is kind of what like Eden is based upon, and then Levi came from another term for snake, Leviathan, like a water Leviathan, and then
Like,
Levi's kind of the shortened of that.
Fish from Nemo, from Finding Nemo. That's what I imagine Levi is like.
Oh my goodness.
It's an anglerfish. It's
Oh my
particularly ugly anglerfish.
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah.
Can I get fan art of that?
Oh my goodness.
It's like an anglerfish with the mask.
Speaking of fan art, like from today and yesterday, Dress Boy has been making Eve fan art.
Hey.
Oh wow. Yeah, no, I've been noticing that. Maybe we'll show up some fan art.
He was a sweetheart.
Hi Rhino,
he's such a
welcome.
sweetheart.
Is
Hello,
there
Rhino,
going to be an epilogue? I am currently in the process of getting an epilogue together. It might not be for a little bit because people are still sending over their stuff about their own epilogues, so it might take a little bit.
I'm leaving all of my characters' epilogues up to Rachel.
Are you really? I was gonna ask you about
go
it.
for it.
Okay.
You go for it.
Okay.
Honestly, I do want to work on mine. I haven't gotten into it yet.
Yeah, so whenever you do get the chance about that, just send that over to me.
Yeah, I will be sure to definitely send that to you as soon as I can.
But regarding the epilogue, I am planning on writing a short story about the different perspectives, timeline chronologically.
Indeed.
Henry best be part of your epilogue? Oh, you bet he will be. Yeah. You bet he will be.
I feel like Sebastian and Henry meeting would be really funny.
Aww.
Henry would be like, "You married her, my little sister," and Sebastian's like, "My guy, I know her better than you do. I don't want to hear it."
Well, they already kind of had that conversation.
Well, yeah, but I feel like
Henry
would say it again.
Yeah, he would. He would.
He absolutely would.
But yeah, no, I actually do have a part of it with Henry already kind of figured out. I wonder what his voices will be in the epilogue? Ooh, that's something I actually still need to figure out.
What's up?
About the voices.
Oh yeah, that's kind of a
about
weird
what
thing.
the voices are.
It's all of our mental illness.
Oh, wouldn't that be interesting?
You guys just slowly got insane, and then Eva's just.
Oh, it wasn't slowly. It was not slowly.
As soon as you got into Eden, you got insane.
Yeah, it was literally. I think it was my. It was my second day on Eden where I'm like, "Hey, here are the voices."
Yeah, I think it was my first day, or at least first week on Eden.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Ayo," and then I don't remember how I transitioned to it, but I eventually just started calling them the Mafia.
Yeah,
and that's just kind of stuck, and that's just now my brand for my Twitch.
Yeah,
My followers are like the Mafia soldiers esque, and then like subscribers are the honorary Mafia members. Like they're the tier higher, and then you got the moderators who actually have like the roles of the Mafia, like janitor, which is Sydney, doctor, which is Puffy, Emerald, which is the muscle, which is funny to me. Emerald understands why it's funny to me.
Hi, KRX. I haven't done any of the Eden Wiki for Rhino, as I don't know what to write for it. You literally came up with this backstory, my dude. You have something to write.
No, I'm the exact same as Rhino, though. I want to write in the wiki, but I just brain go birdie.
I've got my wiki is basically done. I just need to write my recaps.
Honestly, I don't know how to get into the wiki.
Get good, probably.
Talk to Maddie about that.
Oh, thank you, Faye. That's very helpful. That helps me so much that I can do that right now.
Alright, I guess right off the bat, does anyone from any of the chats have any questions for us?
Very true.
So that way we don't necessarily have to resort to our list of things right off the bat.
A very short list, mind you. It is not a long list.
Yeah,
and we already covered one of the things on the list.
Yeah.
We already covered something. That's not how buttons work. There we go. That's better. Big tired.
Yeah.
Sleepy Fang.
I don't want to hear it.
Aww.
Welcome everyone to everyone who is just joining. We're in the process of talking about the EdenSMP as a whole. If you guys have any questions, feel free to let us know. I'm currently here with Fang.
I remembered what I wanted to talk about. I'm smart.
Yeah.
So, funny thing, I think I've said this on stream before, but almost all of my lore was not planned beforehand. Like there was so much of my lore
that was just like improv.
It was improv, and that's the beauty of improv.
Yeah, and a lot we can go ahead, but then we can touch on like what you and I did together in terms of that stuff.
Like the thing of like, because Allie, the body actress for Unknown or Levi, we were having that talk in Unknown's temple, and Allie was like, "Oh yeah, Fang's dying. Like you're dying," and I don't remember discussing that with Allie. Like that was just something that happened. I'm like, it's great lore, but it happened in the fly of the
right, and then it gave you lore for like 5 weeks.
It literally gave me war. It gave me, yeah, it did give me war, but
it
also
did literally
war
did. It literally did
for
give you
a
war.
good month. So
it literally did give you war.
Did I use most of that month to build the lighthouse? Yes. However,
it was a beautiful lighthouse.
It was.
It's gone now.
It is completely gone.
Oh, God. There is a part of me that once I get my hands on the world, start rebuilding.
Rebuild the lighthouse? Wow.
Wait, what? Have you
For old
ever...
time's sake, right?
I got a interesting... Have you ever been in a package deal with someone who wears red and has blonde hair? I'm confused by that. I'm not sure what they mean by that.
I don't think that's an Eden question. That is a weird.
We don't have any characters with blonde hair. We never had anyone with blonde hair.
Yeah, we did.
Jade?
Oh!
Literally, Maddie exists as well.
Guys!
Yeah, too.
Yeah.
Wait.
Is it referencing?
I don't know. Red...
We've never seen Levi's hair.
True. No, I would assume that he wasn't a blonde.
I mean,
in the picture that
he might be.
Oh my god. He technically was like a genius.
He's the stupidest genius.
Socially smart, but like
he's book smart, and that's about it.
Yeah.
He knows how to do the funny coding thing, but that's literally it.
I haven't seen Human Rhino.
Human Rhino? Oh.
Speaking of which...
Check out Yandere.
I'm just... Yeah, literally, because Kano used the skin that he did. That he had for Yandere. Oh, and that was completely improv, too.
Oh,
so
yeah,
there was a moment that, where that ritual happened, and Kano used his human skin, and I was like, on the fly, I'm like, oh, I know that person, because of course I would, as Unknown's daughter, seeing, Kano in real life with Lauren. I'm like, that would be definitely someone I would know. And so
did you know about the ritual before going into it?
Ooh.
Rachel? I don't think you did.
No.
Because I remember there was a group chat made in the Eden Discord. It was me, Gabe, Kanoka, Nova, and Toby.
Oh, you mean the Sin one?
No.
The one before?
The human one. That
the
made
human
Kanoka
one.
Human. And we had a plan to have us four help Kanoka, but Toby couldn't get on that night, so I was like, okay, improv message Rachel.
Right.
So you being there was also complete improv as well.
I don't remember, because I had talked to Kano about some of his backstory stuff way, like, right at the start of Arc 3. There might have been something about, like, him attempting to become human, but at the point of the ritual, I didn't really... If we had talked about it, I didn't really remember it.
Right.
Yeah, what happened on the last day? I missed the stream. Oh. Well, we can
probably talk about the finale.
We can get into the finale in a little bit. Is there anything that we want to talk about, again, like, regarding the ritual? I mean, just to finish up on that topic.
The ritual. I think the ritual is just really fun. I really enjoy all the rituals. They're just really fun to do.
Yeah. Oh, but about the Sin ritual. Like, I didn't know that was gonna happen. I was messaging Fang like the day before, being like, oh, because he was saying there's like a special surprise coming tomorrow, and I'm like,
right?
Is it Sin? And he's like, no. And I believed him.
No, I did not lie. I did not say no. I said I don't know. Anytime someone asks me a question where I'm deliberately trying to not tell them the answer, I tell them I don't know, because it's auto, like, you can't catch me lying there because it's not an answer either way.
Right. Oh, Oliver said Fang was right about a person who was Jay. Oh, and that's why Toby didn't come on, because they were expired. I mean,
not that day. No,
not that
Toby
day.
wasn't expired. Toby got expired on Tuesday. That would have been the 14th of December.
Yeah, technically.
Because
even though
yeah,
Toby wasn't around for much longer than that. I don't think they had streamed in like a month or so.
Yeah, it's been a minute, which does make me sad because I did want to do lore with
Toby,
it
definitely
whole,
would have been
Marcus stuff.
Yeah, and it would have been interesting, right? And it would have been interesting because I had a decent amount of lore with Toby regarding like their past, their past with Yasmin. And so I kind of like, it would have been interesting to get into that and like kind of see how that all played out because I had played a decent part in that. And especially seeing like how Toby would have reacted knowing that Yasmin was expired or like gone.
Right, that would have been really
that would have been dramatic in that kind of sense, but we never got to see that, which unfortunately, yeah. December 14th was the day when Ashley expired. Toby was also expired that day.
Yeah, Toby was expired. I found it hilarious because I didn't catch Ash's expiration on camera.
Oh.
Because Ash expired, me and Gabe were just on, not streaming, and then we're like 5 minutes later, we were like, wait, we should probably start streaming because we're just on here and there's no one streaming.
Right.
So we were just like, wait, we both just started up our stream, like, yeah, Ash got expired.
Yeah, no. And that's kind of good. That's a kind of a good segue into the finale.
That is, yeah.
Take it away. Finale, like, first thing right off the bat, Nova gets expired, which, oh boy, that was a shocking character, definitely, because Nova was the only one besides for Logan who had been expired. Wait, was Logan part of the initial group? He was, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So it was like weird to see another person who came in with the original group, being expired. Besides for Logan, but like very few of us actually met Logan. So it was less of an emotional moment. But when Nova was expired, it was like, oh my god! Like if Nova, has been around this entire time and is now expired, like what could happen to the rest of us? Yeah,
I love it.
And then of course there was the conversation between you and Levi.
Yes.
Me and Gabe were trying to get like the best vantage point to watch. So we opened the door and he just freaking turns around and we're just like, abort mission, leave, go.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my, and in character I was like, you guys get out of here, I don't want him messing with you. But out of character I found it so funny.
Me and Gabe had so many good moments in I kind of wish that Eden went on for a little bit longer, just so that me and Gabe could do more chaotic nonsense.
Right.
I agree with you.
Because
will there be an epilogue? We kind of already touched on that. I mentioned that I was going to be writing a short story epilogue, which they'll be released at some point. We'll let you know.
Speaking of things releasing at some point, I got permission from the writers to do this. I'm gonna be making probably a 5-part series on YouTube on my YouTube channel. Go check it out. On like the Eden story as a whole, chronological story going from before Eden to the end. I'll probably because this is gonna take a whole heck of a long time to do.
Right.
Because oh my god, I have to talk about so many people. I have to get all their lore recaps. I have to write it all down. I have to make a script. It's gonna be so long.
Right.
But I'll probably include your epilogue at the end as well.
Yeah. So
that
it would be
a good
like,
idea.
yeah, I'm already picturing your first part being like pre-Eden with all like the beta stuff and like.
Well, beta would probably be.
Would beta be its own video? So like. Yeah, so probably that first part would be like a lot of my stuff and a lot of Maddie's stuff and a lot of
a lot of your stuff, Maddie's stuff. Well, it's gonna be like more so because I gotta talk to everyone, literally everyone.
Yeah.
Like I gotta talk to Nova and Kanoka.
Right. Oh yeah, because like everyone had their like and Mousy with like her her and her sister,
right. Exactly.
and Toby with her and Yasmin,
that's why
it's
going to take 2 years to write.
Right.
Because I have to talk to everyone individually, go through every stream in Arc 1 and some of 2, because lore recaps weren't a thing until Arc 2.
Yeah.
So I have to go through all of Arc 1.
Yeah.
Through, like, Pink's VODs, Maddie's VODs. I don't know if Kanoka saved his VODs. I don't know if Pink saved her VODs, actually.
Yeah.
But, oh my god.
Right, yeah, it's just
so
a decent
long.
bit. So yeah, that's the epilogue stuff. So you're aware of that. So continuing on with what happened in the finale, so my character talked to Levi, and he's basically like, I'm planning to expire everyone. Not directly. He like, Ali played him like really subtle. He really just did not share any information. Even up until the finale, I was like, aren't you gonna give me like any information? And she's like, nope.
Denied.
It was very good with the lure recaps. I recapped every stream. Yeah, I mean, you did. You did.
Who's this?
Rhino.
Yeah. Rhino. But here's the thing: you were introduced like towards the end of Arc 2, so I have to still go through all of Arc 2 stuff for literally everyone.
Yeah, I mean, there's also still your backstory stuff right now that is still
that I don't know.
It's still there. So after the conversation with that, we met up with everyone at. You and I had our moment at the beach.
Yeah.
And then we all met up at Pink's place.
Actually,
the only
good thing here, we read Gabe's books as well before we went to the beach.
Right.
Remember, he had those books for Sin and Fang. I literally teared up reading those books.
Oh.
Aww.
Oh, and I had that emotional moment with Eve too. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
That's true.
There were so many emotional moments with Eve, honestly.
Yeah.
Literally
and then we all met up at Pink's Floating Islands, which I had actually never been up there. That was my first time seeing it. Yeah.
First and last.
Yeah, first and last.
Those
and
times
then
when I built that.
the only person who wasn't there was Mousy, because she was running late out of lore. And so she met up with us later. Out of lore and in lore. And so she met up with us later as we were heading to the end portal. And then we found the end portal. We're like, if this is the end, like this is... And Levi was catching up with us, so we had to be quick about it. And he was watching us, and it was like, what are we gonna do at this point? We ended up going through the end portal. We ended up in this, like, this dark room. Lauren pressed a button. Pretty sure she had pressed a button there for the escape. We all got sent to our different, like, escape room sort of deals.
Right. And I want to take a second to talk about the escape rooms.
Yeah.
So, like, everyone had, like, super philosophical, symbolic escape rooms. Like, Matt had to choose between, like, a whole bunch of things. Kano had to make a choice. Seth had to kill his dog. Like, stuff like that. I just had to play the floor is lava and jump up a lighthouse. Literally, it's the funniest thing to me.
That's funny.
Honestly, I'll tell you the reason to thing, because I was there to help out Maddie. So she was like, what do I do with thing, because you know him more than I do. And then I'm like, well, I know, like, he does like parkour, and we thought of just making it a little bit trickier. And I couldn't remember or think of anything that you hate or don't like to do. So
no, the thing is, like, there could have been a good escape room moment for me of, like, having to fight Sin again.
I should have thought of that. Oh, my brain was.
I like, because Pink asked me in my lore chat. I was like, hey, what's your character's biggest fear? What are some, like, situations that they went through that they just didn't like? I was like, okay, Sin, Lighthouse, Woodland Mansion Adventure.
I mean, but I can also see with yours how that thematically works, because
the lighthouse exists.
No, not just the lighthouse. The fact that it was on fire.
Yeah, I thought about that one.
And the fact that you had to escape from a fire.
That is very true.
And that's your character arc, you know? Like, the fact that, like, you had to deal with fire so much, and now you're running away from, like, the one thing that you spend so much time working on, going up in flames, and you just gotta escape from that. So.
It wasn't even going up in flames, it was just... Like, I had fire resistance, fire spread obviously wasn't on, and if I walked into fire, it would teleport me back to the start.
Yeah.
So, like, I just had to, like, juggle my way around the fire.
Right.
And like, character arc-wise, I think it does work perfectly, because in the beginning, for Felix, he ran away from the fire.
Yeah.
He got out of the fire. Now, at the end, he's going back in to get the key that he needs.
Yeah. Rana said he has to choose to either side with friends or side with unknown. He said, I betrayed one too many people. Yeah. Yeah. Levi was just corrupting you into thinking lies. That he was. And as for me, my escape room was escaping from my childhood home. That Pink had worked on building.
Oh yeah, and then the levers weren't working.
Yeah, the levers weren't working. So I had to get Sydney to come over a couple times, and then I got to the third lever, and I was like, at this point, like, I'm not. Sydney doesn't need to come over a third time, so I just DM'd out. So I just messaged Allie. I was like, "Can you just put me into survival for this?" And it helped because I also had to place something. I also had to place the wool down on that end rod. So I was like, "I'm just gonna stick in that."
To do it.
I mean, I could have, but also, you know, it was a lot more convenient in my case.
Although it does make sense that Eve would immediately come, being like, where are you, Eve?
Oh,
yeah. I also had to help Maddie too.
Real quick.
Yeah, or Mandy.
Were you blind in your test?
Yeah.
Okay, because some people weren't, and there was a reason for that. I was actually helping Maddie with just a small bit of Matt's room. The floor disappears from under him. I was helping her with the commands of that.
Okay.
And she was like, yeah, probably everyone will have blindness. I'm like, if there's parkour in any rooms, that's not going to work.
Right.
Because blindness stops you from sprinting.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, I need to rethink this.
Yeah, so, like, it makes sense for yours that you weren't given blindness, but, like, for me, where I was just kind of exploring, it worked.
Right.
It was fine.
Dude, the amount of paintings that I broke, because, like, almost any time I saw a painting that looked slightly suspicious, I was like, I'm going to have to go through that. And one of them I did. Two of them, actually.
Yeah, and so...
By the way, did you like the secret bathroom?
That was the first one. I was like, there's a painting on the wall, I'm going through it. Get out of my way, Pinocchio.
I made the bathroom. It was a beautiful bathroom.
It looked good.
Yeah, and like with mine, I had to try to improv so much because I was stuck in that one bedroom for like a good 5 minutes while I was waiting for you, Sydney. I was like, I gotta get out of here. I'm so sad.
I was either using the bathroom during that time, or I was
It's so traumatizing. I need to get out. I need to escape. While I was waiting for Eve to show up with permissions to place a key down.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we got through that. I was one of the last people out. Like, I could have gone through that a lot faster.
Third to last. No, you were second to last.
No, I was second to last, because Mandy was just stuck in that maze and I couldn't place my keys down. And everyone...
Mousy accidentally got teleported.
Yeah, I had heard about that. I think they had described that on their streams.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because Allie accidentally clicked the button, it just teleported Mousy. Mousy's like, what the hello?
Right. And then after that, we all placed our different wool keys in a circle. Gray.
I'm sorry.
Dude, literally, I see Gabe with orange. I'm like, bruh, he's not even supposed to get out.
So we placed down our keys, and then something was gonna happen, and we waited, and then we were all teleported to the big house, which was so cool. That reveal was amazing.
It took me days to make that beautiful thing.
You say days. That's not a build that you normally do in days. That's
for,
like a
month.
couple of
More
weeks.
like weeks. I lost track of time. I'm not.
Right.
When I build, I just build. Okay. I don't
Yeah,
remember
because there was a group of us. There was a group of us who had seen that house,
me.
while it was
I was in
being built. No, like you, like Fang and I, and then I think Mandy was there.
Para as
and
well.
Para
that
was
was
there.
Yeah, no, that was the day that Para got expired.
It
So that was the day that you got your
was.
memories
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
Dude, I was so sad. Like, I think there was part of me that was like, I don't think Para's gonna make it through the whole of Eden. Because
Right.
his schedule just wasn't lining up because of like
Yeah.
school and stuff. And then I just see the message Pyramid got expired. I'm like, oh god damn it, why was I
that
right?
also was the day that I got my memories back.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then that was the day where Eve forgot about Para.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, funny thing about that. Okay, so we were touring that big house right while it was still being constructed, and Allie accidentally teleported me to a different position,
right.
and that's when I lost all of my stuff. And
Right, 'cause you fell in the void.
I fell in the void. Yeah. So basically, Allie and I spent like a good 15 minutes going through my VOD and trying to figure out what I had. And that's why
Everything to be recreated.
Yeah, that's why I had to make like a new a book of bubbles and stuff like that. And I had to some of my gear didn't have the same enchantments, some of it was upgraded. And that's how I got 10 freaking enchanted golden apples, because Allie was so apologetic that she's like, "Hey, here's some golden apples."
Bro, you didn't share
Allie.
with the class? What? We all went in to go fight freaking Levi. You didn't even share with the class.
We're not gonna talk. We're not gonna talk
10,
about that.
I also had 1, so that's 11. There were 12 of us.
I guess what's done is done. It's
That's
whatever.
It's okay, Faith. You already had the information.
It's whatever.
No, you wanna know the suckiest part? I gave Rachel my notch apple.
Oh.
Yeah.
I gave Rachel my notch apple because I
That's
didn't
why
notice
that's why I was like, yeah, we're not gonna talk about that. It's what's done is done. What's done is done. It's not like we'll need any of that stuff anymore, anyways.
No, I'm just messing.
Eden Dark too.
Okay, then we went into that house, which was crazy cool.
That house was sick. It was such I love escape rooms in Minecraft.
Yeah, that was
and that was just an escape room in Minecraft.
Right, that was the culmination. That was the culmination of the temple and that stage and all of Unknown's architecture.
Dude, literally that house was as big as Levi's head.
Into the boss fight house.
Literally, it was.
Honestly,
I love how he started spawning in. Allie just started spawning in with us because I'm like, dude, literally all of us have prop 4 armor.
Yeah.
These do nothing.
Yeah.
Then the withers came out. I'm like, this might do something,
Jay,
but
welcome.
I literally killed one basically
Welcome.
on my own.
Back on September 2nd, everyone's memories were erased and yeah, that was September 2nd. Okay, and then
can we talk about Seth opening the gate?
Oh yes.
Because
that's later. Hold up. We'll get to that. We're still going through the rest of the finale. So we go through the house. We're finding. It's not the. Are we finding the maps, or was that the next part?
We had to do the parkour first.
Was the parkour was first?
Yes, because we had to go into the dining room. It was a lot of parkour.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, parkour was first. So we did a whole bunch of parkour. Yes, so did I.
Yeah, I noticed you cheat.
Ender pearls literally came in clutch. So we used the ender pearls for a decent amount of it. And then we were finding the pieces to the map that I had an emotional moment about it because that was the map that I had made for the library in Arc 2.
Nice.
And when I ended up going back there during our after call, and I was looking at the map and it was gone, and I'm like, oh, they must have taken it.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that was a little bit of an emotional moment for my character, just seeing that map that she had made.
That was a sweet
moment. as a way of getting everyone out. And then what happened after that?
From there, we had to.
I was giving up
sacrifice. Yeah.
Yeah, we had to give up our most precious item.
Yeah. So let's because I gave up the totem, the totem that I got from... This would have been the totem that I got from the Woodland Mansion.
Yeah.
And then I used... Well, not used, but I had Ash's totem as well.
Yeah, I gave up my poetry book.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish I had used it more. I wish I had written more poems. I do have screenshots of the poems that I did write, so that way I didn't, like, lose everything.
Right.
But I wish I had done it more often, because I only wrote, like, 8 poems total in the span of the entire time.
You were there for longer than I was, too.
Yeah. Only by a couple days. Or a couple...
Like a month. A month to a month and a half, because I joined literally May 27th.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, because I had joined... No, because I joined May... I joined May 20th. That was my first day.
Was it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, May 20th was my first official day on the SMP.
I thought you were in it earlier than that.
No, because
no, you were in a week before I was in.
Yeah, because Arc 1 wrapped up only a couple weeks before that. Because the only reasons, the code that I wrote was when my character had technically first arrived in Eden, and so it took her about a month to get from where she arrived to spawn. And so when she did end up getting to spawn, that, like, kind of marked the first portion of the second arc. Hi, Queenie! Jay, the Winter Jaguar says, Fang said the Wither does nothing. They could have spawned an Ender Dragon or 2. That would have been fun.
No, but the only thing that could have been wrong with that is that could have, like, went through, destroyed command blocks, destroyed that, like, the back room. So that just would not. But
that would have been, even though it wouldn't have worked technically, it would have worked thematically because of, like, the Wither and the dragon fights during Arc 2.
Sure. You say the Wither and the dragon fights. The Wither fights? Easy.
It was
game.
easy. It was
Literally,
easy, but it was still...
I killed 5 Withers in Arc 3.
It was still a lore... It was a big lore moment for a decent amount of us, because we got our favor. And so I ended up using...
My favor?
It was
probably... No, because... I didn't get a favor because you were already
kind of in debt to him. Because you had needed, like, a teleport or something. Something of, like, that. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, and so I hadn't asked for anything, and I wasn't planning on asking for anything because I wanted to use my favor as a lore thing. And so I was trying to think of, like, the best way that I could do that. I either was gonna be like, hey, Unknown, can I get my memories back? Or, hey, Unknown, like, help Eve out. I think it really solidified that I was gonna help Eve when she turned into Eva, and then I was like, yeah, from that point, like, my favor's gonna be used on this. There's no way that I'm gonna let, like, Eve go into this fate. So, yeah.
Which is a very sweet moment, because you really didn't have to me, dear.
I mean, yeah, she kind of did have to.
Absolutely. It was
she did. Like, because none of us knew that Eden was gonna reset. None of us knew that Eden was gonna reset. When they announced that it was gonna... On, like, the day of that Arc 2 finale, none of us knew. Or at least none of us besides the writers and those who were in the loop of that knew that the world was gonna reset. And so when they had made the announcement the day of, we were like, oh my god, our world is gonna reset.
Right.
And all of our memories are gonna be gone. And, like, there's stuff that I wanted to talk about with these characters that I'm not gonna be able to. And so that was a little bit of an issue, because even the next stream that I was planning after, like, going into Arc 3, I wanted to talk to Kano, I wanted to talk to Jay, I wanted to talk to Yufeng about different, like, lore things that had happened, because I hadn't revealed to anyone about my theory that Unknown was my father. And so when everything was confirmed during that reveal, I was like, I really want to tell everyone, but our memories are going to be erased. So that was not a thing that could have happened, unfortunately.
Right.
But it did when near the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that was the best place for it to come in.
Right.
Was near the end.
Yeah. Okay, so do you have anything to add on to that?
Dude, freaking when we were about to leave Eden, and I'm in my little pod, and Lauren's
we're
like,
hold on, we're gonna get to that. I was gonna get into the rest of the finale. We're getting through that. We're getting through that.
You asked me if I had anything, man.
Well, I meant about that particular topic, about like about the reset.
Dude, I wasn't there.
That's right.
Fun fact, I was supposed to be there. I was supposed to go with Mousy, Ash, and them and all of them to go get Lauren back.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be in that group, but work literally took me away.
Thank you,
so I couldn't show up. And the funniest thing to me is like I get home,
9 months.
Throw up Rachel's
oh my goodness,
stream,
thank
and
you.
I hear Lauren call unknown Levi. I'm like, ayo, and then literally everyone like leaves the game. Arc 2's over. I'm just like, bruh.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I really got hit with that freaking cliffhanger.
Yeah, and we were wondering for a little while how everyone who had not been there was going to be incorporated into the third arc, because we were like, oh, is this going to be a sort of thing where they have their memories back, or they show up in a different place, or something along those lines. The only person it really happened to was Seth. Because he appeared, he technically had himself appear, like, far out. So that way it was... Because he had ended, technically, on the island at Beta.
Right.
So for him being all the way out there, it made sense for him not to have joined in with the rest of the group. But, like, with Marcus and with, who else wasn't there on the day? There were a couple people.
I don't know.
I'm wondering
Obviously,
if it was
Matt
just...
wasn't.
I'm wondering if you were the only one.
Oh,
Because I think everyone else was there. Besides for the
unfortunate
people
for me.
who didn't... Yeah. So maybe I'm starting to wonder if, like... I know, again, this is probably something you didn't plan.
right.
But, like, the fact that you were Marcus and that you literally took on a different name could have been attached to the fact that you weren't there.
Could have been.
Yeah.
We can throw that into the canon if we
Yeah.
want to. That's the fun thing about Eden, is freaking we can do almost anything with the canon because it's a simulation. So we can, if it's in Eden, we can pretty much do anything we really want.
Yeah.
As long as it fits within our characters and the concepts that we've already created.
Right. Yeah, okay. So we'll get back into more of that. But with the rest of the finale, we had to sacrifice an item, and then we got separated from Eve because she's like, "Oh, this is where we part," and it was all sad, and we did a big group hug.
That was my suggestion. Let it be known.
Thank you, Spain, for
Oh,
that
was
so
it?
much. That was
Because I know I was the one.
moment.
I was the one who went up. I was like, "All right, everyone, get the group hug with Eve."
Oh yeah, no, the group hug. I thought you were like, "Oh, this is the part where Eve leaves."
No.
Yeah. No, I remember you saying that. So
the
yeah,
group
no,
hug,
we did a big group hug.
The fact that I was like sitting in the chair and just waiting for my dears, it's like, oh yeah, you now what the heck?
And like honestly, that was the part of the stream I had anxiety for a decent amount of that stream.
Oh, dude, me and Gabe were hanging out before the stream, and we were both so anxious.
Yeah.
Like we were so
like
anxious.
during a major reason why I didn't do the parkour is because my hands had gone numb. And like it had gone that bad. It was like like Arc 2 Unknown Confrontations kind of bad. And so like I had to use the Ender Pearl, so there like was no way I could physically do that parkour.
Right. Like by the time we were actually like on the end portal journey and like we were going over there, like my anxiety was pretty much gone. And then when we got
that was
thrust
the
into
height
our
of it.
escape rooms.
That was the height of it.
Dude, I was straight vibing at that point because that is my element. The chaotic element of 12 people talking at once. That is my place.
I'm like complete opposite. But by the time we dropped down into that, by the time Lauren and I flicked the lever, we all dropped down into the library, and by the time I saw Eve, that had settled.
Oh.
Cause like I think you can even hear in my VOD that I took a sigh of relief when I saw Eve, and like that was when like everything like kind of calmed down for me finally.
Right, because I don't think people realize just how much, like, especially me and Rachel, I can't talk for the others, but me and Rachel method act so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I remember there was a point, whenever, like, this was maybe a week or so before the Fang and Sin battle, me and Rachel had planned, like, yeah, we're gonna have this, like, kind of pseudo-argument type thing.
Right.
Of Fang's just in, like, the lowest of lows. He can't, like, he's stuck in this depressive state.
Thank
and
you,
the
Justin,
entire
for the
day
host.
going up to that stream, I was depressed
welcome,
the
Jason.
entire time on purpose.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
Fang needed a reason to like really go and fight Sin. So we wrote in an argument between the two of us that was gonna be like, I'd given him the Fang blade, he was gonna fight with that, and then he had doubts about that.
That was Sin. That was fun.
Yeah.
That was the Sin and Fang. Also, Rachel, you good? You just cut off. Oh, there you go.
Oh, am I good? Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. The Sin and Fang fight. I
really enjoyed that.
Yeah. I wasn't there for that, and that made that it made the story for that even better, because that's when I was on vacation for that, I believe. Or I was at work or something of the sort.
I think you're at work.
But by the next stream, I had heard that Sin was in control, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is like this is a lot.
Oh yeah, and I remember. Oh, sorry to cut you off. I remember I didn't tell anyone besides the writers like that Sin's gonna win. I'm like, Sin's gonna win.
Yeah. And I'm sure the others had certain reactions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and another thing the writers didn't tell us about was the arena.
Oh yeah.
Nothing about the arena.
Nothing
about the arena. Yeah, so Jay and I actually got a we kind of knew because she had found a command block at the top of Unknown's temple with a teleport command. So we kind of knew that something was gonna go down, but we didn't know the extent of it. And then when Unknown had announced at the party that it was gonna be a fight to the death, Jay and I kind of looked at each other and we're like, oh, that's what's going on. And that Kano and I were gonna be fighting, because of course it was a tie. Of course Unknown had to make it a tie, because he's a liar like that.
And that's where Eve became Eva. Or at least the beginning of it.
Yeah, so Sin was a bad guy. No, Sin was not.
No.
I mean, he had like...
Should I go into...
Yeah, go into a little bit of detail about that.
So, just to start at the beginning, of course, Felix and Sebastian being Fang and Sin respectively, they, their parents died in a fire due to Levi. They left the Gade community, which meant leaving Kylie, which was Rachel. They left, they kind of lived their life for, 2 years. It was 2 years that Sebastian and Felix were actually together. And then Sebastian left. Because he couldn't forgive himself because he thought he was the one who started the fire. And he couldn't forgive Felix for forgiving him. So Sebastian just left. He took his ball and he left. And he joined Eden. He joined Eden not knowing it was Levi's project. And then,
because at that point, Lauren was in charge of it.
Right.
Yeah.
And and then he joined Beta, blah, blah. We go into Arc 2. Sin is just a wisp flying around. He's like, yo, I just watched the whole virus thing go down. I kind of laughed at it. It was kind of funny. He sees Fang being Felix. He immediately knows who he is. He's like, Ayo. So he does the whole body nonsense, and all the stuff from Arc 2 with Sin was just that pent up anger that he had. But he realized, like, pretty much when he was being dispelled, and he was talking to Dr. Poe, he was like, "Oh wait, it was Levi who did it, not me."
Yeah.
So that led to the redemption arc.
Yeah. which was arc 3 stuff. And kind of going off of, because you mentioned the whole thing with, like, Levi burning down the apartment, and, like, Felix and Sebastian being brothers. That was part of a brainstorming session that me and Feng had, like, a few weeks, like 3 or 4 weeks before the end of Eden. So we were in the midst of arc 3, and we were just sitting in a call talking about Eden stuff, and I'm like,
actually, pretty sure before the call wasn't to talk about Eden stuff.
It wasn't even to talk about Eden. It was to talk. It was something else. It was something else.
I'm pretty sure we were just vibing that night.
It ended up going into Eden stuff, and I think that might have been when I was telling you about my backstory. I think I had revealed to you what, like, Kylie had been through. And then I was like, what if you and I were more connected? Yeah. We were pretty much on the same wavelength when it came to, like, incorporating each other's stories. And then you had mentioned, I don't remember who had mentioned it, but something about, like, Sin actually being the younger brother.
I think, no, because, at that point, the visions weren't clear yet. There wasn't a younger brother. It was mainly just the fire.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all that Marcus saw.
Because you had mentioned, you had said as part of your backstory that there was a fire at your house or apartment or something along those lines. That I think that was basically it.
Yeah, and
then I was like, hey, what if Sin was actually your brother and Levi was somehow connected to that, thus, you know, us being your friends and stuff like that. I've just hydrated.
And going into actually one of our topics that we have on our list here, the improv character choices, because the whole thing of, like, Sin and Rachel having this, you know, connection in arc 2, something I said on a whim. And then in that brainstorming session, we were like, oh, that's the connection. Yeah. Sebastian and Kylie knew each other. We
were trying to figure that out for so long.
Literally.
Because Feng had brought up the fact that we had a connection, or, like, Feng asked Sin, had brought up the connection thing, like, from day 2 of, like, Bench Buddies. And so the two of us were like, how the heck do we come up with this connection? Where is this connection between Rachel's character and Sin? And then it's like suddenly all the pieces are coming together. It's all connected through Feng and through Levi, and we're like, okay, this is it. This is what was going down.
And then Sin being brought back as well. That's not something that was it was planned, but it was planned like a couple days before it actually happened. Because I was talking to Kanoka. I was like, I need something to happen on this day, so I have something to do. Yeah. And I was talking about memories, and they're like, we can't get your memories back yet. I'm like, okay, so what can we do? He's like, what if we bring Sin back? I'm like, I'm interested, please tell.
Yeah, and I think that might have also been around the time when you and I planned, because I can't find the receipts for those, but around the time when we planned for Sin and me to be romantically endgame.
True.
Because I wasn't initially planning on having a romantic interest on Eden, but like it worked so well with our characters that it like had to happen.
Especially since like whenever Sin was in full control in arc 2, and then you and him had that argument. And then he, out of anger, immediately went and killed Toby.
Yeah. And, like, Rachel felt guilt about that because she knew even from that point that somehow she was at fault for that. So, she knew that it still somehow had to do with her as much as, like, Kano and the others were like, no, it, like, you didn't have, you know, it wasn't your fault or anything. She's, like, she knew deep down that it was... You know, some of it had involved her. She was the last one to have talked to Sin before he did that.
Exactly. Improv character choices are so funny, dude.
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
We can talk more about that. Let's continue talking about the finale because we're almost done with it.
Yeah. So, we get out of the sacrifice room and we go into like the boss fight room, right?
It is the boss battle.
Yeah.
Literally the boss
battle that I built.
I want to comment on this, Sydney. You copied the freaking bone throne, and I'm upset with you. That was supposed to be a me and Gabe thing, and then you freaking copied it. I'm just like, bro, come on.
Yeah.
Aren't you glad that it's there?
No.
So we entered the boss fight room. Unknown starts blazing down like, Oh, yeah, so first there was a technical difficulty, and Lauren and Kano had to figure that out. Probably something that had to do with, like, the code. And then while it was, like, really awkward silence, I was really tempted to be, like, going to this whole thing about, like, Unknown, you can't do this, but then, like, I was like, I don't know, I don't want to, like, take a moment.
Right.
And then we eventually fought the Wither skeletons and the regular skeletons and the Withers, and then we fought Unknown itself, and it was really interesting story-wise that Matt got the kill. Really interesting. I feel like if anyone would have killed him, it would have worked thematically, but it was really interesting that Matt got it. Because
that wasn't planned because we were all just hitting wildly. Like everyone was out there trying to kill him.
Yeah.
And almost anyone it could have worked. Like, oh, because Kano could have killed him because Kano had to do this and this and this. It could have worked for anyone.
Yeah.
I think probably the 3 people that probably would have worked. Well, 4 people that would have worked best with is of course Lauren, you, me, and Gabe. I think those 4 people would have been the best
and Mousy
to kill. And Mousy
and Lauren, of course, Lauren.
Of course.
Yeah. But
like the people who Unknown have hurt just
Maddie too.
Next rung up.
Maddie too. Like, my God.
But
like
at the same time, like with Maddie, it was never revealed canonically.
That's true.
So I feel like it wouldn't have been right for
But
Maddie
I mean, but still, Unknown had done some things to Maddie. Like, it's kind of been confirmed that he placed the virus on her.
That's true. Maddie did say that in
like,
the
she
as well.
still went through that entire, like, dark arc. Dark arc. Yeah.
Dark arc.
But like, it was really interesting that Matt got the kill because he was the only one out of the dead people, or like the quote expired people, who had been revived. Yeah. So, yeah. And then after that fight, we went into the final room with the computer. The one that Unknown
That's
was
where almost everyone shed tears.
Yeah, and the one that was basically, story-wise, that was like where Unknown had like placed kind of like a firewall. Protecting that area from people who were trying to escape and stuff. And so we all gone to our pods. Lauren was willing to give herself up, and we were like, no, that's not gonna happen. You're gonna come out with us.
Well, no, at one point we did just accept it.
Yeah.
At one point, and just to go off this a little bit, I remember because I was waiting for something to happen because I didn't think that Lauren
they
was
were gonna
end up being
actually
sacrificed.
Yeah.
And then I remember seeing in the Eden Discord, this is so funny to me. I just see pink text at Fun Sydney Lou, sacrifice yourself.
Oh.
Really? Completely forgot.
You guys don't know they proposed me like this?
Sydney completely forgot. I'm just sitting there trying not to laugh my ass off.
To be fair, they had me do a lot of remember.
Yeah.
Right. I did not have everything memorized.
Because I didn't know, none of us knew, besides with the writers, and obviously Ellie and Sydney, that any of that was gonna go down in the computer room. So I actually had messaged Gabe, to try to sacrifice himself because I was like, oh my god, if anyone's gonna do it who's still around, it would be him. Like,
right.
If he doesn't have anything to go out to, like, he would be the best person to do that.
Right.
And ultimately, like, he was refused because, of course, the writers had a plan. But, like, just the fact that he tried, the fact that I reached out to him in order to do that, I literally messaged Gabe, I was like, please help her! I was, like, so concerned that she was actually gonna end up, like, sacrificing herself.
Going back to talking about Gabe, dude, this is what I want to say earlier, I was in my pod, he just walks up, as I'm pretty sure this is when Lauren was, like, yelling at Mousy, he just walks up and just gives me his trident.
Oh my.
Oh yeah,
and that almost broke me.
Yeah.
Because literally a few streams before, I was like, yo, can I have a trident? He's like, no, this trident's mine.
Yeah.
And then he just walks up to me and gives it to me, and I'm just like, you've got to be kidding me, dude.
That's...
It almost broke me.
Yeah.
And let it be known, it takes a lot to make me cry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Freaking, oh my god. Gabe can't keep getting me with these emotions. Again, I almost cried when he immediately, like, that one time in the Netherhub, when he just gave me the book. He was like, yo, I think I might be dead.
Right.
And I'm just like, bruh.
Like, it sucks that more of us weren't doing face cam for that stream. There were only 3 or 4 of us doing face cam. Because it was myself, Lauren, Mousy, and Tyser.
Yeah, so the 4.
Yeah.
Was Seth not?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay.
I don't.
But in any case, yeah, we kind of just get in our pods. Pink's ready to sacrifice herself, of course. Eve walks in,
and then Sydney comes in as Eve, and I'm like, oh no!
Of course, I already knew what was gonna happen because I saw the Discord, but I was like,
Shut up! Okay, nobody else said no during the time, and now you have to go me like this.
Yeah, and so the question of, like, what happens to Elizabeth outside of Eden, like, that's gonna come up in the epilogue.
Lauren started calling Eve Elizabeth, and I'm just like, I have to assume that's Eve.
Yeah.
I have to assume.
Yeah, that was the name. Yeah, that was the name that she had come up with, because she needed a name to refer to Eve by, outside of Eden.
Right.
And
Elizabeth works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Throughout most of the time, I did not know my name was Eli until, like, the finale, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And actually, because we had, when I first got my memories, or my, like, IRL memories back, I had spoken with Eve. And I was like, oh, I know who you actually are. And you were probably so confused because you probably didn't know what was happening with that. And that's what I meant. So I was like, I know you're, like, basically subtext, like, I know that your name isn't Eve.
Right.
Yeah. Because by that time, I had watched a VOD where, Lauren had said something about Eve's name being Elizabeth, and so I kind of went off that.
Right.
Yeah, and incorporated that into my backstory.
Yeah, that basically wraps up the finales. Eve or Elizabeth sacrifices herself, and we all get out.
And that was the finale.
Yeah, that was.
And I was a hero.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For being late.
You're welcome. Eve
was a hero. Eve was a hero.
But you still came in late.
I did not came in late, okay? If I came in late, Lauren would have been dead.
No, you did come in late because I could hear it in Lauren's voice. She's like, I gotta stall for time. Sydney needs to get. I could hear it in her voice that she was stalling for time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just funny to me. I don't mean anything mean by it, of course. This is funny to me.
No hard feelings. No hard feelings. We're all friends here.
So, do we want to go into our? Well, for you, it's top 7. For me, it's top 10 moments. Top 11.
We've talked about the finale. We've talked about. We can talk more about Sin and Rachel.
That is true.
Yeah.
I was just gonna go from my honorable mention up, and we can talk about it as we go up. Because it is a top 10 list.
Well, again, we don't have to go in order. What's for?
Well, yeah. I just want to throw out my honorable mention real quick. Of just
that's fine.
Messing with Eve is my honorable mention because oh my god,
everything
it's so
with
fun.
Eve. Everything
it's
with
so
Eve.
damn fun to mess with Sydney. And Eve is just Sydney.
Well, yep.
Well, besides the whole Eve like drunk arc,
wasn't
planned. Wasn't planned.
How did that even happen? Go through your thought process of that.
I'll go ahead and explain that to you guys. So, you know about Eva becoming a Thane? Well, from that day, I did not know. I was somebody else's say anyone's name just to keep their privacy private. So basically, on that day when the whole battle arena thing happened, they're like, well, Ali was like, today you're gonna be evil. You gotta be wicked, Sydney. And I'm like, oh, okay. So that's where Eve slowly became evil, and then I'm like, okay, so they want me to be a little bit more nasty, and I didn't like seeing Eve becoming more nasty, and I didn't know what else to do. So I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna make her drunk, so the way she has a reason why she's like this in a way. It makes sense at the end of the day because. Eve is supposed to be a sweetheart little angel, okay? That's how I am when I first joined the thing.
And we had conversations, Sydney, in character, where you were describing Unknown being your drinking buddy.
Oh, yes.
And the fact that you went out drinking, and I was like, hey, Eve, if you could just, like, talk to Unknown outside of Eden and be like, hey, since you're drunk, can you get some information for me so I can pass it on to Rachel? That would be lovely. And I actually thought, like, and that was the day, that was the stream right before the battle arena. So basically, I had asked that of you. I had asked to get information from him off of you. And then the next stream, you turn into Eve, and I'm like, oh, shit. He did something to her because he found out. And, like, during that day, I was like, how did, like, he found out about something. He found out that I was working with Eve or something like that. It didn't end up becoming canon, but, like, there was, like, obviously a different reason for that. But, I remember my character, like, really freaking out about that.
Right.
Yeah. By the way, with all the Eva skins and skins that you guys see, I made all of those. I said that earlier on my stream, and I did show every single one of them that I have done.
Nice.
And some of the ones I actually never got a chance to show on like stream, like you guys never got to see. So feel free to check out earlier on my stream once this stream is over.
Right. Yeah.
Since I went into a lot of detail of what I did as Eve from part 1 and part 2.
Can we talk about some of the clips that happened on Eden?
Oh my goodness.
Arc 2 and Arc 3, because some of mine and Rachel's clips are so funny. Oh
they're really funny. They're really
funny. Because my jokes are just stupid jokes. I make stupid, sometimes insensitive jokes for the kicks and giggles because that's just how that's my sense of humor. And Rachel's humor is she makes sometimes insensitive jokes on accident. Yeah. And that is so funny to me. Yeah. Like the whole, I have a clip of Marcus being like, why does everyone think I'm a polar bear? And Rachel's just like, you're white. It's just the funniest thing to me. It's so funny to me because it's very accidental, insensitive humor. But that's why it's so damn funny.
Yeah.
And of course, all of my COVID jokes.
Right. Yeah. Everyone joked about the fact that, like, my fake memories was a mermaid. Which I initially came into Eden being like, I was actually going to be a mermaid. Then, because the writers told me about the whole simulation thing much earlier than a lot of other people because of how I written out my backstory. Because I had Levi as my father. And so
right.
They're like, hey, so this is what's happening behind the scenes, just to let you know, so that way you're not actually a mermaid. And I'm like, okay, I'm actually gonna write this into a much longer backstory, incorporating a lot more things from outside of Eden, outside of the simulation. And I'm gonna keep this whole simulation thing secret from everyone else. And it was really fun having you guys all found out. Yeah.
Which actually worked in my favor, because I wasn't there for the reset.
Right.
So you told me, you were telling me before the fight, actually, like way before, because I remember we were writing a document. Because at that point, Sin's whole goal was still to learn about human emotions, because that's what we had planned for him. It was only later that we decide, oh yeah, he's gonna be from Beta, and only later after that, oh yeah, he's Fang's brother. But I remember the list. We were like, oh yeah, all these positive and negative emotions, and then I put anger down, and I'm pretty sure me and Rachel both like, yeah, let's just put pink there for anger.
Because we had a different emotion, or you had a different emotion connected to different people.
Right, like how he would learn about these different emotions is through other people. Like he learned like hope from Kanoka's mayoral speech, which is the funniest thing to me. If he's like, yeah, hope is just blind ignorance.
Right. Yeah, and like that whole entire like mayoral election was so crazy to me. Because I did think that Jay was gonna go through with it until she got sick and she was like not able, like physically able to do a lot of like the major stuff. Right. And so they're like, hey, you are our second runner-up for this. Would you want to be the opposition to Kano? And I'm like, I mean, if it means that Kano is still... If it means there's still going to be an election, then yeah, sure, I can write a document with a speech, and I ended up doing that the night before we had to start writing those. And yeah, in character, I was very shocked, but I also knew it was coming.
Yeah, that's cool.
I didn't know, or well, no, I did know ahead of time. Because they had mentioned in my story chat that there was gonna be a fight that was gonna happen. I didn't realize that we would get to keep our armor, or that we would get to keep all of the stuff that we were given. There was a little bit of miscommunication on that front, but Kano and I figured it out. And I really did think my plan was gonna work. So what I was planning was that Kano and I would basically fist fight to the quote the death, and he would push me off the edge, and I would use the home pet, and I would be back at my home in an instant, and everyone would think I was gone and dead. And that would have been that. But then I fell into the lava, and I hit solid ground, because there were barrier blocks, and I was too late on my reaction, and so Unknown killed me. And that's literally how the plan failed, right in front of my eyes. And now my character was like pretty scarred after that. She came up with theories about like why he did it too.
Going back to the whole improv character choices, that one moment where I like to say where Fang/Sin was expired for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
That I made that so canon.
Yeah. And the same thing with going back to the fight. Going back to the Rachel and Kano fight. Rachel, like, I was accepting expiration. I had been like, hey, if he's gonna expire me because I lose, like, so be it. If I'm gonna be a martyr to everyone else, so let it be. Like, I was ready for it, like, in character. I mean, obviously I knew that it wasn't gonna happen, and I was gonna be able to stay, but like, in character, I was like, I'm okay with this if it means that it's gonna prove that Unknown is, like, this evil person.
Right.
You know? Yeah. There were a lot of, like, very internal character stuff that didn't really get picked up a lot.
Right.
In terms of the two of us, because they were so, like, so small. And, like, people were watching other perspectives for the most part. So,
that is true.
Yeah, so, like, sometimes I know that I would mute, at certain points to talk directly to my bubbles about, like, what was going through my head without, like, having everyone else hear it. And so that's, like, things that you would need to specifically watch my VOD for.
Exactly.
And I'm sure, like, Fang, you probably have those moments as well.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, specifically just after our argument when Fang was at his lowest of lows, and then going straight to Unknown, literally threatening Unknown.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That was one of the highlights of Arc 2 for me, because I finally got, like, this badass moment where Fang just walks in, is like, Unknown, you're gonna fix Jay or else I'm going after your daughter. Which at that time, I had the theory that it was Rachel, but I, like, out of character, I didn't know for sure.
Yeah. I think a lot of people have the theory that it was me. In character, I wasn't going to let them accept that.
Right.
And so I was kind of turning it away to be like, hey, what if it's Pink? What if it's Maddie? What if it's any other girl? Except me. And then they were like, oh, it's like, everything is kind of leading up to you, Rachel. So when I mean, when I ended up talking to Unknown, that one day to try to, like, cause my plan to get more information about, like, pretending to be his daughter was to take on Fang's mission of finding out who she was. And so I went to Unknown and I was like, hey, what was your daughter like? I'm taking over this thing from Fang. And then when he was talking about, like, the different things which Ali kind of improvised based on, like, my backstory, I was like, oh, wait a minute, this sounds like me. And then I stupidly, like, even out of character, I shouldn't have done this, but I brought up the whole key thing, and he was like, oh yeah, I know about that. And that's, like, that was when I knew that I was screwed in that sense. And that it had basically just been confirmed right there and then that, like, I was the daughter.
Right.
It is what it is, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it worked out.
There's so many intense moments on Eden. Like, there's just so many intense moments.
Especially Arc 2.
Especially Arc 2 was spicy. But something that the straightest vibe for me was just building the lighthouse.
Right. Yeah.
It was like, I complained about the lighthouse a lot. Like, even out of character, not even streaming, I will complain about the lighthouse.
Yeah.
This is something that Rachel has done.
You still do.
I still do.
Yeah.
But it was something like just those monotonous, and that I could just go on Eden, start up my stream, and just kind of vibe, which out of character helped my Twitch a lot. It gave me so many consistent streams for that month.
Facts.
But the lighthouse was such a big project, and I'm very glad I got to do it.
And also, going back to, like, intense moments, one that, like, really sticks with me is Eve's death. During that day where it was basically, oh goodness, what else had happened that day? It was Bench Buddies. I literally named the stream Bench Buddies. And for a decent part of the time, it was just you and I, like, being, you know, Sin and Rachel on the bench. We were talking and we were, like, figuring out, like, different things. And that might have also been the stream when I was like, hey, I remember walking on sand. I don't necessarily remember if that was the stream, but it was around that time. And then, like, some stuff had happened. and Unknown
Yeah,
had
I don't
approached
remember what the
Eve.
context was.
Yeah,
for
Unknown
Eve's
had
death.
approached Eve and been like, you lied to me about my daughter being alive and being in Eden. And so he got really upset about that. And he like
he
started he started like making it thunder and rain, and like there was all this craziness happening, and he ended up
I told him to calm down.
Yeah, and as much as Eve was trying, like he ended up killing her, and she was like expired momentarily. And then the rest of us...
Wasn't that, like, a second time that... Like, the first time it almost happened, and it was me and you that stepped in. I remember, because that's when I made the promise to find the daughter.
No, it was that. Yeah. It was that. It was her death.
What? No, it wasn't her death, because I remember I stepped in between them.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure this happened twice, because I stepped in between them and I stopped them from killing Eve.
Right, because I'm... Yeah. Okay, maybe it was that when she didn't die. So there was at least the argument about the daughter being alive and possibly in Eden. And because I remember after that, maybe you had actually stopped Unknown from killing her, but then the whole group of you went into the temple, and I remember staying outside for that.
Right, because you were like in and out of character. You were having straight up an anxiety attack.
Yeah. And I know that I remember Para comforting me with that, while the rest of you were inside dealing with everything else. Because it was you, it was Jay, Kana was there at like the end of it. That might have been the group. Because it was pretty late at night. I think it might have been our Monday stream.
I think so too.
Because
I remember that
Eve
I died
was
a
on
lot.
more Mondays, yeah.
Yeah,
and
but so
Monday was Eve's day during those times.
Yeah.
Right.
And then while you guys were all in the temple calming Unknown down, you were like, I'm gonna go help find your daughter for you, you know? That was probably the transition from like Unknown being like, hey, I know my daughter's in Eden now, to you being, you know, to saying that and deciding to help him.
Right.
And then that kind of turned into like, who is actually the daughter? I don't know how much actual like investigation you did about that.
I did nothing.
Yeah.
Because I remember Allie said like, out of lore, like don't.
Yeah.
Don't. And I was like, okay.
Don't what?
Don't go out to find the daughter.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Allie literally... I'm pretty sure me, Jay, Rachel, you, Sydney, and Allie, we were all on Eden. None of us were streaming. They were... I think you guys were actually just helping me do... You. I was just building the lighthouse because Allie was like, yeah, you can come on. I'm a writer. I give you permission to come on and just build a little bit of your lighthouse. And we were all just vibing on there. And we were talking about it, and Allie was like, just don't do any more lore with it. Just cast it to the side for now. I'm like, okay, that's going to be an important plot point later, but okay.
Yeah,
I remember
and like, I remember the first day that Unknown had even mentioned the daughter thing. It was literally, you were starting the lighthouse, and we were just talking about, like, some saying, like somebody, you had brought up like a whole like mother father thing.
Oh yeah, I remember all the theories I made of Eve being your mother. That's fun.
No, not even that. It was like we were just like joking around, and then I was like finally like letting loose. And like in character, I was surprised that he was doing that because he had never done that. As far as I could have seen, like he could have done that with Mousy, but it was still like, why was he doing that with me, me and you? And then we were joking about like different family, and we were asking, and and Eve had mentioned that she had a mother, and Unknown had mentioned he had a father, and then we were like, oh, do you have any other family? And Unknown's like, I do have a daughter. And so that was when that all started. And he mentioned that, and like, I'm sure I got the biggest grin on my face because I knew exactly what we were talking about. Because this was, all of my stuff was all of my backstory
Right.
stuff was planned. Like, way back at the start of Arc 2, like, I knew, you know, kind of what my stuff was gonna look like.
Right.
And I worked very closely with the writers to make sure that it was all, like, it all fit within the timeline of things.
Right. So, just going from that whole, like, intense stuff, let's get to the wholesome stuff of just Sin and Rachel's relationship, because, oh my god. It's so wholesome.
Yeah.
You guys are too wholesome.
It's I remember when me and Rachel were having the brainstorm moment, we're like, what if this happened? And then when Sin was brought back, I'm like, okay, I'm making this happen in Eden, not just outside of Eden.
Yeah.
And it was so wholesome when
Yeah.
Rachel got her memories back and they
Yeah.
were just sitting on the bench. It was so wholesome. And then I remember me and Rachel were messaging after, like the night after, like, well, the night of, and after we were done streaming, and we were just like, oh my god, oh my god.
Yeah,
And then we finally
was very
did this,
nice.
Yeah, we finally did the stream where they confessed to each other again, and that night after we were like, oh my god.
Oh my god, it was so cute.
It was so wholesome, dude.
And it, like,
You guys are too cute.
Yeah, and it started the relationship, like, it just started out, like, really interesting, because they started out as kind of, like, rivals in a way. Like, Rachel's kind of saw Sin as an antagonistic force who wanted to hurt Fang, and so she was like, I'm gonna keep my eye on you.
No, that's exactly what he was.
Yeah.
That is exactly what he was.
And she was like, I'm gonna keep my eye on you, I'm gonna make sure that you don't hurt Fang, I don't want any of this, like, nonsense happening. And then, like, because he came out so often, she started, like, talking to him more than she talked to Fang, and then that turned into bench buddies, and then, like, they had, like, a genuine, like, friendship from that, even when, like, everyone else was like, hey, Sin's like this villain, you know, Rachel was like,
exactly,
he has his reasons,
right?
You know, you can't just, like, judge him based on the fact that, like, he's this embodiment of you know, all of the negative emotion, you know, he's still, like, he still has humanity in him.
Exactly. Or pandanity at that point.
Yeah. And
pandanity.
Yeah, and, like, that was something that a lot of the others didn't pick up on, besides for, like, Kano.
Right. And that's just because Kano is literally the most fair play guy, like, in and out of character I've ever met.
Yeah.
He is absolutely a Hufflepuff. I know he says he's a Ravenclaw, but he is a Hufflepuff. You cannot tell me otherwise.
By heart. He's a Hufflepuff by heart.
His brain is Ravenclaw, his heart is Hufflepuff.
Yes.
Cannot tell me otherwise.
Yeah, that's true.
That whole relationship is so wholesome.
Yeah.
I do love that.
I remember the night when Gabe was telling us about, like, this whole, like, I can't leave thing. I had my own plans for that night of, like, I wanted to go to the beach with Rachel, and I wanted to tell her, oh, Sin's scared of unknown. But Gabe gave me the perfect catalyst to do that.
Yeah.
And I was like, Gabe, you are a legend. I love you.
Yeah. Because there was this thing, I don't even, again, like, not a planned thing, but the fact that Sin couldn't go near unknown.
Well, it's not that he couldn't. It's just that he really just did not want to.
He just didn't go near unknown for, like, reasons.
A long time.
Yeah, and that was before we came up with the idea that, like, the whole backstory thing.
Exactly.
And so that really just played into effect of, like, the reveal that, like, hey, I wasn't getting close to Unknown because he literally burned down my apartment and killed my parents.
But before Sin realized that it was Levi who did it, and before I'd say he realized it was Levi who did it when he figured out that Unknown was Levi, because Sin, something that I never said as Sin, and something that I'm not saying until now, is Sin's basically has, like, photographic memory of how people act, which is why he was like immediately with Rachel the entire time because he
Yeah.
knew it. Like he was like, might have a different face, might have a different voice, might have different hair, but I know who you are.
Yeah.
And he recognized Levi a little bit after, and he was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
And then whenever it was Levi and Fang against him doing the fight, he was like, bruh.
Right. It's
So the whole
it's
Sin
like
thing of,
Felix, how could you side with the guy who killed our
Literally.
parents? You know?
And like Sin, whenever he did kill Fang, he was like, I didn't want to. He genuinely didn't want to kill Felix at that point.
Yeah.
He was like, that is not something I wanted.
Those arena fights were just like
Those arena fights were so fun.
crazy.
Oh,
And
when
the
I fought
builds.
Nova, I got him down pretty low. I'm pretty proud of myself.
Those builds
I
were
want the
so
best
good,
dudes for you.
Sydney.
Thank you.
Builds were
I
so
did my
good.
best, and I'm so glad that I did such a. Honestly, during the time when I was Eve, I was a little bit scared of like, oh, what if I don't do a good job? And I know I'm a great artist, and I know I'm a great builder and everything, but sometimes I'm like, ooh, what if they don't like it? What if it's not good enough? But I'm glad
We
that
always-
it's good enough. And
we
I'm glad
always
that
loved
I
it,
do play
you
a good
know?
Eve.
Yeah. No, you were
Well, again-
fantastic.
Like, no, not taking away from the fact that you did a really good job, because you did a good job as Eve. But
Yeah.
again, Eve is just you.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it is. Like, she's a me,
the-
but she's
the-
more chill. She's more chill than I am.
Well, I'd say that the biggest difference is that Eve is so much more contradicting than you are. Because
What's contradiction? Oh,
But
sorry.
no, you're fine. Like Sin, like Eve would go, like especially in Arc 3, Eve would go and like punch Sin for saying something, and then he'd call her out for contradicting herself
Like
because she would have
literally
said that
doing
same
the
thing.
same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So Sin
Kind of
that's
like
why
hypocritical.
Yeah, that's why I loved playing Sin when Eve was around, because Sin would just beat up on Eve for her
Yeah.
contradictions and hypocrisy.
You insulted her. That's why she killed you sometimes. What?
Yeah, no, can we talk about that actually? Can we talk about the time that I was exploring our ocean?
Oh yeah, that's right.
I said something about Eve, I forget what I said. And I just die. I get slash killed by Sydney.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, bro. I was
Honestly-
literally like 2,000 blocks away from spawn.
Mhm.
Bruh.
This is why I said I owe you, because of
Yeah. There's some
These were, like, really-
funny
This is
moments
why we
that were
don't give
just...
Sydney power.
no, I do like having the power. I need the
Yeah.
power.
The power ship.
It's okay. I was nice to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Accept me. Literally
Well, you
accept
weren't nice
me.
to me either, so you got what.
No. Here's the thing. Sin wasn't nice to anyone. Like, even to Rachel, he was mean to Rachel. Like,
And I mean, until he wasn't, like,
until like the bench buddies was like fully
Yeah.
in motion.
yeah.
Can
And
we
he-
also say? Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Go for it.
Can we also say that thank you, Fane, for helping Eva with her drinking problem?
true.
You did that. You
That
helped
was
her.
that
And
was
that's
the,
more
that
than
was like
her.
that was like the true start of Sin's redemption arc.
Yeah.
Like, and now you have something to say. Hey, I may be a bully, but I helped out Eva, so.
Yeah, no, because
I
really
remember
liked
that
in-
stream, like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, it was...
In Arc 3
something.
it was super fun because whenever I was Fang, there was this rivalry between Eve and Fang because like imagine from Fang's perspective, he saved Eve from Unknown.
That is true.
And then she's casting him into these fights, casting his friends into these
Yeah.
fights where they have to kill each other. So he feels absolutely betrayed.
Yeah.
I feel like you guys out of all people did technically saved Eve in Art 2, and then
Yeah.
at the very end, Eve saved everyone else, so she
Yeah.
kind of repaid a favor.
And then like with Sin also was killing people killed Fang in the arena, so he didn't care. So he was nice to Eve, nicer to Eve than Fang would have been.
Yeah.
That is true.
And
So
I don't...
he was just straight
yeah.
vibing.
With Rachel, like, she knew deep down that Eva was not the friend that she knew. Like, she
Uh-huh.
knew that something was wrong and that Unknown had done something.
Do we
and
know what
so-
Unknown did? Because I still don't know exactly what Unknown did.
I think it was something that, like, something with, like, bringing back a bit of the virus in to her. Like, not
Oh, okay.
necessarily, like, a contagious one, but it, like, brought out more of her, like, darker side that she had deep
Mhm.
down.
Well, because Eve's entrance was Chava, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it was
Yeah.
like kind of bringing back Chava in a way.
That's why that's where I got the name, because
Yeah.
it's a mix of both. It's like this whole new kind of person. Like we
Yeah.
still have a little bit of that sweetness of, but Eva is a little bit of Chava at the same time. So
Right.
Eve is fighting with herself in a way
So
during those times.
basically, if I hadn't stepped in with that favor, Eve would have eventually become Chava.
Yes.
Right.
And like out of lore, well, spoiler alert, during
Spoiler
those
for
times.
something that's over.
This is not you. Yeah.
Okay.
We
Well, I
already
don't know.
talked about the
Spoiler alerts are
finale.
over.
That's like the
Yeah.
end game of
Yeah.
Eden.
That is true. I don't know why I did that.
Just go for it.
So, like I was saying, like, during those times when people were finding, like, I had that note there from Arc 2, and then people found the note when they'd gone back to Old Eden, and I was like, oh, I forgot to get rid of it. So
what was the note?
It was Eve's note of it was kind of like a poem in a way of like how her flowers were withering away, because that was like a sign of her telling Rachel that she is just like she feels like something is changing within her, but she doesn't know what, and she feels scared to even tell her. So she wrote it into her little notebook, and I was just going to think of like do a couple of those and have Rachel find them out in the wild.
Right. And speaking of that theme park, Maddie said she built it. Was it you or was it Maddie?
So it was like a team effort. So basically with the fun bits parts, I did, and Maddie did the main platform. So it was a team effort right there, basically. I did all the fun building stuff because that's where she like put me on the job, and I kind of forgot about it, and I'm like, oh, I might as well do this while I still can. So...
And that worked out in terms of timing, because when that end sign showed up, that was a decent part of my lore, because you had brought me up to that theme park, and I saw the end sign, the end screen for the first time, and I was like, okay, this is a sign that something's gonna happen. It's either gonna be like the end of Eden as we know it, which it ended up being, or like the end of Eve being Eva, or something along those lines. My character was thinking up like a ton of different like theories in terms of that, but like the end screen, that was just your doing, right? Was that?
Yeah, that was just my idea of doing that, and I thought it would be a cool idea to do.
So. And it was, and I brought Kano and Mousy into it. Yeah, and I brought Kano and Mousy into that whole thing as well. And I'm
I saw
hey,
those
what do you guys think about this? Like, this is very ominous. You know, this is, and then it wasn't really touched on, but like I knew in the back of my mind, like when Unknown was like, hey, I'm gonna reset everything, I was like, this is what that meant.
In a way, it works out in the very end.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
So a fun thing that I want to go back to, I don't remember if I said this ever on stream, but in Arc 3, whenever Lauren and them were, it was Lauren, Mousy, Nova, and Maddie. They were, and Matt was there too. It was just Kanoka that wasn't there at the time. He was like preparing a stream and stuff. But they were looking around for items to try to get my memories back.
Oh yeah.
And I remember they were going to the swamp base, and I remember I was just vibing with, I think it was just Rachel. I think Ali was there too. But I remember we were just vibing, and I'm watching Maddie's stream, and they're going to my base, and then I'm like, wait.
There's nothing at the base.
My swamp base, yeah.
Yeah.
Literally, there's nothing in my base. I even took the floor. I took the Blackstone floor. Yeah. Because Blackstone, one of the sickest blocks in my opinion. But I remember I'm like, wait. So I just started texting messages like, my stuff is under Time Tower.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
where it'll be.
Which it would have, there were only a very limited amount of people who even saw your place under Time Tower.
Which was basically just Ash and you.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
I don't think I was ever under there.
No, you were.
You
absolutely
were.
No, remember, because Eve would always follow Sin around.
Oh yeah, that's true. I did.
Like when Sin was out and about, she would always follow him around.
You always followed like all of us around. The one time that I was
do like follow you guys.
Yeah, the one time that I was concerned about it was that when who was it? When I think it was the second time we had gone to the computer. And and Eve showed up and I'm like, oh no.
No, I remember specifically telling Sydney, because Sydney DM'd me like, hey, can I come? I'm like, no. Sydney DM'd me on Discord. She's like, hey, can I be there? I'm like, no, denied.
No, we're at the computer
anyway.
I'm like, we're at.
Well, I thought it was okay because like the message. I got confused. I'm sorry.
SMH.
We were like, oh no, now unknown knows. But that didn't happen because Rhino ended up blowing it up
I found
anyways.
it, and then I never got there again.
Yeah.
No,
we didn't tell anyone about that. Like, yikes.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
It's fine. Oh, can we talk about Sin's first actual conversation with Rachel?
Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah.
Because that was such a fun
intense.
conversation for me. It wasn't on my side.
It was intense for me.
Vibing.
Yeah, because
I remember.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's funny to me because there's always been, and mind you, I want to stress this, before Eden, the interactions I've had with Rachel have been because of the series Royal Academy, and that's very few.
Yeah,
so I basically don't know Rachel going into Eden.
We really hadn't talked before.
Right. You just laughed at one of my jokes at one point in Royal Academy. That's about our only interaction before Eden.
Honestly, Royal Academy just kind of seems like a blur now. I don't even remember what scenes you were in.
I was in a lot of scenes. I did a lot because I didn't have a job then.
Right.
But I remember it's funny to me to think, like, even before Sin came along, Rachel was the first one that Fang told that there was like this entity in his head.
Yeah.
But I remember that conversation, and then I remember I was like, okay, time to be Sin. So I turned into Sin, and then I messaged Rachel like, hey, come to my house real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And so we talked like, then.
Ooh, something's
and
up.
I was like, it wasn't intense for me because I was just talking in character while sorting my chests.
Right.
But you were like, bruh, what is going on?
I was like, I know this is the other entity, like, because I was trying to play it up. I was like, oh, how's it going? You know, how's the house going? And you're like, oh,
how's the wife and kids?
I know you know who I am.
I'm pretty sure I said that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I said that almost word for word. It's like, I know you know. Like, stop beating around the bush.
Yeah. And I'm like, what do you want? And both of our tones changed so much in that, and then it just it was just from there. Yeah, because I think our first conversation as Rachel and Fang was when you first showed up, and like I think I might have,
because you were at Spawn.
Yeah, I was trying to take the lead on like explaining what had happened.
Right, it was you, Misty, and Toby that I really met first, and kind of Pink as well.
Yeah. Oh
and
my
also
god.
Matt, of course.
Oh my god. Who had given Devil's Grass? When was
that? Was Pink.
That was Pink.
That was
Pink.
I
remember that was Pink.
I just remember that.
That was her.
Yeah.
But no, that conversation holds a special place in my heart because I remember I was DMing Rachel about it. I was what was I saying? I hope my acting was okay, and you're like, dude, I was so nervous. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It just wasn't as intense on my side.
Right, we had that conversation, and I was like, oh no, I gotta tell someone. And then immediately from there, I talked to Jay about it. I'm like, this is what's going on. Like, keep an eye out, you know?
Right. It was
Oliver misses Misty. Yeah, we missed her too in Arc 3.
Yeah. It was unfortunate. In all fairness, I still don't know Misty because I didn't know her going into Eden. I only had like 3 or 4 interactions with her in Eden.
Yeah. I would have loved to hear what her backstory was, because she had a really interesting thing about that, because it was like she remembers being in Eden and traveling a lot, and that kind of lined up with my character, so there was a chance that I could have reached out to her and been like, hey, would you have been cool with, like, Eve also bringing you into Eden?
Real quick, just before we go any further, I'm adding Gabe to the call.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice. We're adding everyone. Beautiful
more
party
chaos.
time.
More chaos.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I would have loved to see what Brooke had thought about with that.
Right.
Hey, Gabe. We've got a
Hi,
Gabe now.
Gabe,
Welcome
what was your
to
favorite part of Eden?
What was my favorite part of Eden?
Yeah.
Leaving.
Being a brain in a tube.
I am a brain in a tube.
Don't you mean a jar?
No.
I've been downgraded to a jar.
I got a jar of death. If you understand that reference, I respect.
Yep.
Mad respect.
Yep.
I do enjoy pyro.
People understand.
True.
All right.
On a real note, though, probably my favorite. I've mentioned in the other one that I mentioned the other time I mentioned it. Jesus Christ.
Yes.
You were having a stroke.
I literally just got home.
Dude, you got home and you were DMing me. I was like, oh my god, I was just waiting for Rachel to stop talking about what she was talking about. I'm like, okay, hold on. Just gotta add Gabe.
Probably just being able to spend time with a bunch of people that I've not really spent time with before and actually have fun with it, and then two, just the other people recognizing when I was just like, here's 80 million things, and they're like, what? That made me
literally
very happy.
Right.
That is all the dopamine. That is where all my happiness comes from.
Gabe, what is your favorite Eve moment?
Oh
my favorite Eve moment? You already know the answer. You want me to say it? You want me to say it?
I've already called out Sydney many times in this stream.
That is true.
When Eve died.
Oh.
I'm gonna go cry now. Rachel, hold me.
Probably just all the time that we fucked around when I was just me netherite mining for 3 hours straight.
Mostly because
and then
of me.
I did spirit things, quote unquote.
Yeah. And then just ending my stream and being like, hey, you want to see the project on the thing?
Yeah.
I was like, yes.
Dude, Gabe, I want you to know this, Gabe. The amount of times that you almost made me cry on Eden.
I could have.
Swear to God, because I'm not like a big crier. It takes a lot for me to cry just in general. But literally, there's like 3 times where you almost made me cry, and I'm just like, bro, can you not?
Yeah,
that's my
I
art.
probably wouldn't have been the best person to talk to about that. You
almost made me cry when me, Rachel. What is that? What am I hearing?
It escapes Mike.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's good now. It's good now.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been doing the thing since yesterday.
I was going to break something.
But whenever you gave me the book, like the animatic that Mask Boy made, that whole scene literally almost made me cry. And then when I was reading the books that you made, that almost made me cry. Yeah. And then when you freaking gave me John Cena.
Oh, yes.
I did give you John Cena.
Dude, a couple streams before I asked, hey, can I ever try it? And you were like, no, denied. It's mine. I'm like, oh, okay. And then you just give it to me. And I'm just like, no.
Didn't I named that try to John Cena? Or gave that suggestion?
John Cena.
Yeah, it's because I got it, and then they played the John Cena sound effect. And then I was like, well, I know what I have to do.
I remember a conversation that you and I had in character about something that really stood out to me was that when you were trying to get all this information from everyone and you were like, why am I not I feel like I'm being left out, and why is no one telling me things like that? Really hit my character because that's exactly what she was going through in Arc 2. exactly what she was going through. Because there was like a long time when she wasn't getting any information from anyone because all of the OGs were so closed off about what had happened with the virus that she was like,
exactly.
I want to know this
Definitely.
stuff. And like the fact that like Gabe was being so willing to like learn and to have this
Right.
information, and she trusted him enough to eventually tell him things, but she's also like, he would not believe me if I told him.
Definitely
Right.
intentional.
Yeah.
Definitely
Uh-huh.
something
Uh-huh.
I totally planned.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Dude, that's actually a
Yeah.
funny plot point that never fully went through is whenever Fang and Pink had the conversation in Arc 2 of like, hey,
Yeah.
we need to like stop this whole wall secret off nonsense.
And it was
so that we
going
can
to.
actually...
It was going to.
It was going places for sure, but then the reset happened. I was
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah. And then that didn't end up being a thing. And then we kind
Yeah.
of just started over in that kind of sense
More or
because
less.
everyone was like kind of separated in different groups.
Me and Cell specifically.
yes.
Right. Yeah.
Me and
AKA
Toby.
Toby.
And like
Yeah.
the fact that Mousy was off so far away, and like Kana was
Right.
definitely the villain of that particular section.
God,
And also
Kanoka being a
like
villain terrifies me.
right, and Pink was definitely seen as like the outsider.
She
And
was
nobody
the
trusted
crazy
Tyser.
grandma.
Nobody trusted Tyser. Except maybe Rhino, but he also had his like suspicions about.
Rhino's character literally in Enoch 3 is a dumbass.
Yeah.
Aw.
Rhino, if you're
Literally
still
doesn't know how
here.
to do things.
Oh, poor
One of my
Rhino.
favorite moments that came out of Eden. It wasn't a part of Eden in any way, but it was when Gabe was doing his parkour map and he said that he hated Kanoka.
Yeah, I remember that. That's
How
funny.
do you feel about that, Gabe?
Not great.
Aw.
And then I was watching the clip the other day, and then Kanoka just pops into his chat. He's like,
Yeah,
no.
he was probably
Of
lurking
course.
the entire time.
Sounds like a you thing to do.
Can we take a second to talk about the amount of fan art?
Yes.
Oh yes, I love
Dude.
all the fan art.
Oh
I
my
want to
god, the
show
fan
off
art
some
is...
of it.
Bro,
Yeah.
I like came into Eden and then like I was just chilling for like 2 weeks and then people just decided to do just an ass load of art for me for like no reason. I'm like,
Straight up.
bro, I have like at that point I was like, I have no lore. What?
Especially the animations too. Oh, I love the
Yeah.
animations.
There was
Oh my
a
God.
there was a fan art made by Grass Boy on the final day with like everyone, and I
Yeah,
was
I was
not
just looking at that one
there.
with like unknown looming behind.
And I wasn't
And
in
then
it.
even the
No,
April.
denied.
I was like the only one not in it.
No, hold on. 1, 2,
Oh,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Or at least one of the
No,
only
8,
ones. There
9,
might have been
10.
But those were the
Dude,
There was.
mainly the
I don't
people
think
who had.
Tyser was in it.
Oh yeah, I'm not seeing
Dude,
Tyser.
all I need is just like some hands like rubbing together like one of those like scheming
For
flies,
real.
and I'm just like, it's perfect.
Dude,
I love it.
the art that Mass Boy made of Ash expiring. No.
Yeah.
Oh. And then just all the freaking the Gabe and
jelly
Fang
bean
wedding.
and
Oh my.
the jelly
yeah,
bean and the ketchup packet is
the
actually
Oh,
goth,
yes.
the goth Tutti Frutti jelly bean in the ketchup packet is so funny to me.
It's actually like my favorite thing ever.
It's literally. Can we make it our profile? If you change your profile picture to just the Tutti Frutti jelly
Dude,
bean, I will change my.
my profile picture's so good though.
No. But I will. If
Here's
you-
a fan art of.
Oh my,
Which-
why
which
that one?
which one? Hold on.
I hate
Let me open your stream real quick.
Here's a
Hold
fan
on.
art.
Just keep it open for a second. Oh
It's
my
the,
god.
It's the wedding.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful wedding. Oh yes.
God,
No,
that
you
was so
do
funny.
not. Well, I'm the priest.
I do not. You do not.
Where's another? Where's
I
the
love
other fan art
the
that I was put
confession
in?
the confession fan art
I know.
of
Oh, yeah.
between Gabe and me. Just Gabe.
Yeah.
He's like, "What's up?" Oh, why is he getting closer? Grabs hand, Ayo.
I'm doing the chopstick now.
I also love the Moose fan art where Eve says that you're the best Moose, Gabe. Like that she ever had. Because a lot of the times when Eve calls somebody a Moose, usually she just despises you. But the fact that she has enough heart for you, Gabe, that she actually does it out of love, that you're her Moose.
See, the secret is that I despise myself enough for both. It really works out. It evens it out.
Look at this, like, this isn't a me fan art, but this is a really cool one that Emmy did of Unknown.
Oh, which one? Oh, is it the one I'm thinking? Because if it's the one I'm thinking, oh my god, it is terrifying.
Yeah,
oh,
it's
it is. Oh,
so intimidating. Yeah, like
it's because it's the freaking skull.
Wait, I'm confused. Which one?
If you look on my stream.
Open Rachel's stream.
Oh. It's not showing up for me. I don't see your stream.
No.
Oh no, it's my actual stream.
Twitch stream.
My Twitch stream.
I'm dumb. Oh. Oh,
nice.
I haven't seen this one. Oh, that is epic!
All the memes,
I'm just going back
all the memes
my...
that Alex made as well. So funny to me.
All the really I went to go see how high up the one of me saying that I hate Kano is in my all-time clips, and it really just makes me happy that me asking if berries are classified as berries has 20 views.
There's another one.
Oh, dude, the freaking hold on, the Gabe. What? I have to tell you something.
This
Why
is part
is he
of
getting closer?
Ayo.
Ayo. I love you, bro.
Oh, so many
dialogue.
I didn't know it's a dialogue. Like this is
dialogue.
I showed that to my mom, mind you, and she laughed so hard.
Where's Arc 2 fan art? I have it saved on my
Dude,
computer.
Sammy's fan art. Oh my god.
Yeah, I know.
I don't like
I'm
Arc
going
2
back
fan
to...
art. I'm not.
Because you're not in it. Yeah.
I'm going back to try to find him.
Arc 3 is the only canon arc.
Wow. Okay.
Dude, I don't know why, but whenever I finally in character got to meet Dr. Poe, I was legitimately so happy.
Oh, I bet you were very happy.
Oh, this finally the other panda.
Oh, there's one
You're
in particular.
finally not alone.
I remember from the... Oh goodness, all the way from the battle. The fight with Kano. That, like, really cool art that Emmy did.
Oh
Pretty
yeah,
sure
yeah.
Emmy from
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I just gotta find it.
Yeah, it's way up there though.
Yeah. Perhaps pinned? No.
No, but I think only pinned one thing.
Yeah.
Dude, the fan art that Sammy made of Sin in like the obsidian cell holding the torch. Oh my god, that's so freaking intimidating.
Here's one. Here's a Fang one.
Oh, AO?
Dude,
Here's
the
a
one
Fang
from the
one.
comic that you were showing on your stream right now, which
Yeah.
I'm sure has changed because of stream delay. The last frame of that one, the one where it's like, I'd be more concerned if it was. That is actually just like my. It conveyed my real expression like perfectly.
Right.
It's like in case you haven't noticed, you've fallen
Yeah.
directly into my trap.
That one's sick.
Yeah, the fight. Oh, here it is. And I mean, even like the caption for it was "The gods that betrayed us." So I'm just gonna show this one because it's so cool. It's so cool.
Hey, look, you guys, there's me. I'm Sin. That's me. Stab me.
Dude, that's the one thing I don't like about the battle is it had to be
crazy.
Sydney to body act. Of all the people I want to die by, Sydney is like the lowest of that list.
Dude, you should have just hit me up because I definitely knew you at the time.
No, you did. Actually, we talked once.
Did we?
Yep, in Kano's stream. Golf with friends, buddy. Golf with friends.
Canon. Not canon.
All these fan arts are so epic. I just love every.
So the one that's currently on my stream.
Anytime I see a fan art.
The one that's currently on my stream, like, it's
That
so
is
cool.
very epic.
It's so cool.
That's very good, very good.
So, those are one of my favorites, honestly.
So, Gabe, if you were to start streaming,
Okay.
Here's the bench buddies.
Oh,
Chair
Bench Buddies is
chums.
Let it be known. The night when I was trying to think of like a good alliteration for chair, the morning after, like Gabe sends me the clip of that moment. It's like,
Here's
dude,
bench
you
buddies.
idiot, chair chums.
No,
Literally,
I didn't
an
just
idiot.
say. I didn't just say you idiot. I said you idiot, you mongrel, you buffoon. I used a lot of nice words. So I was watching that and
dude,
I immediately...
the bench buddies,
Bench
dude, the
buddies.
bench buddies is such a highlight.
Oh, let me find. Oh, here's the one. Sydney, you'll like this one. This is a throwback.
I'm excited.
I don't know what this
Oh.
one is, but
You know, it's the one.
It's with Eve.
I am the guy.
Oh, I remember this one. Where
He's
it
so
had to
sad.
you.
Yeah.
Honestly, I do feel
All
like
the-
Eve is
yeah.
like a child, but at the same time is like the mother bird around everyone.
Yeah, all the times that Eve has had to comfort my character.
Dude,
it was beautiful.
can we talk about the add a character Eden family tree? Because
Yes.
Pink is the mother of Eden,
Oh my
obviously.
God,
And
I never
not
saw
Ash,
this. I
but
must've-
Kanoka is the father of Eden, obviously.
Mhm.
And
What-
then
what am I?
Mousy,
Yeah.
I don't know what you are yet. I'm going through the
Oh.
list. Mousy is the grandmother, obviously. I said this to Maddie. Maddie is the aunt that we like, the crazy aunt that we don't invite to dinner anymore. That's what Maddie is. And then the rest of it, like me and Gabe are obviously the Fred and George of Eden.
Mhm.
Because, oh my god, our pig step stuff. Can we talk
Yeah.
about pig step stuff in a minute? I love
Yes.
pig step stuff so much. And then Rachel's the older sister that like was born just before me and Gabe, who has to deal with me and Gabe.
Yep.
Exactly.
All right, that's all the fan art of me that I got. I'm gonna keep this one up because it's so
Freaking
good.
oh my god, dude!
Dude, did you like-
where I would just place down a jukebox and Rachel would be like, "Please, don't do this."
Yeah.
Cool.
Dude, I was watching through. I think like it was one of your two VODs.
Mhm.
And I was just it was the one where like you pulled Rachel for a as you say sideline, and then it was just me and Eve just chilling, and then I just put down a jukebox and played Pig
Oh,
Step for
yeah.
like half a
Yeah.
second.
Yeah.
And I just go outside. I'm like, "Hello."
I remember the time that I got stuck up in the ceiling and you guys love to be high.
That was so funny.
It was pretty funny.
Oh, you redeemed
No,
Boop. I'm
that-
gonna
that
have
whole moment,
to
'cause that was
give
at the
you
end of my
back.
stream. Literally-
I'm gonna have to give you back your channel points for that. Because I'm not playing a game, and thus I cannot boop anyone by hitting them. So I'm gonna have to give you back your points. So I'm gonna do that later, which I don't know if we have any mods in the chat, unless Big Dog is still here by some chance and can give you back your points. But yeah, I also have done Chapstick, so that one is fine. So appreciate that.
Got Pig Step and Fang got the jukebox. So I was like,
And then there was a
it's
bone in there
perfect.
too.
Oh yeah, the bone is just
Signature.
Yeah.
Welcome
When
back,
you
Rachel.
when
What
you
would I-
gave
what would
us
I
the
be if not
bones, when you gave us the bones when we were putting the map together at the freaking finale was like, oh my god, that was
Bro, I'm
I
not
don't-
just gonna bring the bones along and not use them.
Don't worry, he
was
also gave me
sad.
those too. It
I was
Give
just-
everyone
I was
bones.
just chucking.
You literally boned everyone, like my guy.
okay.
I get around, round. I
Gabe
get
has all the
around.
bones.
Okay, let's change topics.
Yes.
Oh goodness.
The amount of times of mine and Ash's interactions in Eve Dark 3, oh
Yeah.
my god. Just the amount of nonsense, like she got lost in a desert, so I had to go and find her. She serenaded me. Like
Yeah.
we went to the mansion. Just any interaction I had with Ash, or just the floating cake. Her
And
laugh when she sees the floating cake. Oh my god.
And about like Ash's stuff, I like it sucks that I didn't really get to really like process Ash's whole like exploration, because I did have a little bit of plan as far as my lore to like kind of go into that a little bit more, because I had been like, hey Ash, I'm going to help you stop your blip, and then I didn't end up doing that. And so I was like, my character was really guilty about that, but I'm like, it kind of sucked that I didn't really get into it as much as I wanted to.
Right, because it was 2 days before the finale, so
Yeah.
honestly, I can't really blame you.
Yeah.
That's like 2 streams.
Get the hell out.
That was another one of my favorite moments where it's like, all right, guys, we've got like 2 weeks left, and Matt's like, oh, I've got like 3 more streams left to go, and I'm like, I've got 15.
Literally, that's so funny.
So I had my Monday stream, and then Ash expired on Tuesday, and then I only got on Wednesday because I wanted to hear the information, so that way on Thursday I was kind of all caught up.
No. There was another reason that you came on Wednesday. You wanted to stop me from placing an obsessive amount of carpets.
Oh, that too.
Oh, yeah,
no,
true.
it was. I mean, it was mainly that, but I also like wanted. I mean, it was second to last day.
There were lore implications.
There was lore stuff
together.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that we got to do hide and seek, because I thought it was a good idea, and then it's like, nope.
The character Eve is just slightly narcissistic, because anytime she'd want something from me, she'd be like, yeah, say something nice. I'd be like, really?
Because you've always been mean to me sometimes, and it's
Sin
like,
literally just calls Sin calls Eve out for her BS, and that's it. That's as far as he goes.
I also really enjoyed the slow conversion that I did on Eve to just make her into just like actually just the perfect joke teller. It was great.
Oh yeah, every time you're like, no, it's your mom, but I'm like, no.
It was the best.
Those
like,
are so
I would just be like telling I'd just be like telling jokes back and forth with Eve for like 3 days straight, and then it would be like Thursday. And then I would just see like popping up in the chat just Eve cracking jokes at people that like I would say, and I'm like, I'm so proud.
Oh my goodness.
It's like my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Especially when you taught me to say yes, and I'd be like, yes.
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 Yeah.
Yes.
Honestly, during those first times when I first became Eve, I immediately wanted, but at the same time, I was strong enough to not to tell when I've been told not to do something. I would listen.
Yeah.
Except when he /killed me.
Wait, what?
Yeah, no, hold on. Yeah, no,
that was in Arch 2. That was in Arch 2.
Yeah,
so you didn't know.
let me tell Gabe's story. So I'm boating around. I'm 2,000 blocks away from spawn. I'm boating, going on an adventure, and for whatever, I forget what I said, but I said something slightly sassy towards Eve, just slightly snarky, and then I'm suddenly dead, /killed.
Yeah.
In the middle of the goddamn ocean.
Nice.
And I'm literally just sitting there like, what the fuck? I was about to end my stream.
That's pretty good.
Bro.
Look, I gave you good content, so you gotta thank me.
Dude, I was literally trying to get home so that I could end my stream because I was so tired that day. Like, I just wanted bed. And I was like, oh my god.
I also thought it was really funny. Like the explorers did their like whole like exploration to get to the
Woodland
Mansion, and it took you guys like a week, and then I just did it in like a day.
That was because Ash streams
Hi Luna Galaxy, welcome.
Yeah, and shorter than I do. So we stopped for Ash to stop her stream, and then we picked up again next week, but Nova of course gonna be there, so we're like, yeah, sure.
Still very funny to me.
Oh, it was very Pagu.
Yeah. There was something that I mentioned earlier that I just kind of wanted to see how you reacted to, Gabe. Cause we were all in the finale. We were all in that computer room, and I had sent you a message. Did you not see it?
I may or may not be blind. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, I saw that message. And then I tried to say something, and the Pink was like, no. And then I was
yeah. Like, I wanted to see how you reacted to that. Were you actually, like, in character? Like, were you tempted to, like,
I did say something for a minute, and then Pink was like, no, and then I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I think it's canonical that Gabe is scared of Pink.
Yeah,
that is true.
Well, I mean, part of it is also out of lore, Gabe. It is Pink's SMP. I don't want to mess it up. I was like, well, she probably has plans. There's gonna be a whole thing. And if I took Pink's spot, then Eve wouldn't have been able to take my spot, and we wouldn't have been able to have that ending and everything.
Right.
So, and then it also did not help that my entire chat was spamming at me to do the exact same thing, like the whole stream.
Let it be known, Gabe, I don't know if you saw this as well. I said this earlier in the stream, but I want to catch you up. So whenever we were like sitting in the pods and Lauren was yelling at Mousy, be like, yo, get in your pod, I look in the Discord because I have it up on my screen on my second monitor. I look in there and I see Pink just at Fun Sydney Lou, sacrifice yourself. Sydney was late.
Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can find that message.
Well, they have me do a lot. Like, they told me, like, okay, Sydney, you gotta do this and this and this, and then I was like, okay, so there's a document, and then I, like, it was just given on that day, so at the same time, I did not know what I'm supposed to do.
No, the message, the message.
Something along those.
The message wasn't sacrifice yourself, the message was stop me.
Oh, okay, but even still, same thing.
See, the fun thing is I had dual monitors before. My computer bricked itself, and so for the last few months I've been playing on my friend's laptop, right? And I should have a new computer by like end of January. That'll be nice. But so I'm just playing just one screen, and then I would like tab out for like a second, and I was just like, oh god, they're talking in the lore chat. Please don't tell me to do something I will not see it.
Yeah.
The fact that you guys have mentioned this, I had zero idea.
Yeah, no, it was just a funny thing because
I didn't know either because I'm dealing with the same thing.
Herself, right, Eve sacrificing herself would have been like a huge hit for my character to be like, oh my god. But the fact that I saw that beforehand, I could not stop. Like I barely stopped myself from laughing. I'm sitting there just like.
But for me, it was emotional because I hadn't seen that message.
Yeah.
It was the same thing for Maddie too.
It would have been a lot funnier.
Oh, for like writer Maddie or Mousy Maddie?
Writer Maddie.
She didn't know.
I forgot there's two Maddies. Yeah, she did. She didn't know.
Wow.
Because there was a plot twist.
Okay.
I watched that at the end of Maddie's plot, so
yeah.
I know.
Oh wow. No, I didn't know that.
Gabe, you're scaring me greatly.
Were there some things you don't necessarily have to say, but like were there some things that like some of the writers knew that like some of the other writers didn't?
Sometimes it was like kind of like give and take. Sometimes they would tell us to do like here's like the main idea point. Like we have the main idea of where to go, but it was all improv most of the time. Right. Like especially with Eve. So whenever I'm like hoping that I'm doing a good job, I really do hope that I'm doing.
Yeah, but I'm more saying like I'm more asking if like there was something that like you something that like you and Pink had planned that like Kano or Maddie didn't know about besides for the twist ending.
Honestly, I'm not too sure because
you're not. Yeah, okay, that's fair. Yeah.
I honestly don't know. You might have to ask them that.
Right.
I think I'm gonna go ahead and end my stream off here because I do have work tomorrow. So
okay.
You know.
All right, have fun.
Super fun. Appreciate it.
Still going?
Gabe, can I say what you messaged me?
I mean, depends on if you. I mean, I wouldn't if you're live. I would.
Yeah. I know. I'm just gonna copy and paste into the group chat.
Yes, please.
This is just what Gabe sent me.
Let's see it.
I need to
Comedy
know.
right there.
Oh my god.
That's peach comedy right there.
Dude, I know. I just hear Gabe typing, and I see his little icon moving, like he's typing. I'm like, oh no! And then I see that message pop up, and I'm just like, bro.
My goodness. All right. Well.
Wow. Okay.
Goodbye to the
Alright, well,
mafia.
Yeah, farewell.
Bye.
All right. If any of my viewers or any of Sydney's viewers have any questions for the 3 remaining, I think I might be ending off soon as well.
I'm still going. I'm still going.
Yeah, I'll give it.
Imagine
another few minutes.
streaming late. That's no. I would never stream.
It's not like you haven't done this. Definitely not.
Totally.
Streaming late is my least favorite thing to do.
Especially streaming from the start till the very.
That does not sound like me at all.
Definitely.
Oh, also, Rachel, I just wanna make you aware of this fact. When I was writing up my little bit of a backstory, right? Kano was I was like talking to Kano, I was like, how much am I like being expected to write for this? And he's like, well, we've had some people who have wrote like 2 paragraphs, we've had some people who have wrote like 8 pages. And I was like, I'm coming for that title. And I wrote like 5.
Oh wow!
I couldn't write 8. My
Thank you, Vane, for the raid.
Not that good. I scummed my way out of too many essays to write that many words.
Right. So you did end up writing a decent backstory though?
Well, yeah. I wanted your throne, but I couldn't. I
yeah.
could not
So
write
with mine had. So there ended up being like 3 different versions of my backstory. So there was like Kylie's like real life stuff, and then there was Rachel's backstory from Arc 2, and then there was Rachel's backstory from Arc 3, which was like kind of the same as Arc 2, but like slightly different. So
you really just wrote 3 characters.
Well, it was kind of like 2 characters, but like it all kind of like connected because it was kind of just like the same story, but slightly altered because one was like living life as a mermaid and the other was like in real life with this like abusive father figure, and like a lot of things from each of the backstories lined up, like they paralleled. So
I suppose that makes sense.
Yeah, do you want to share what you had in mind for that?
I mean, I pretty much basically my whole shenanigans was basically he was a guy, he's just a dude, but basically just had this rare chemical or whatever in his brain that allowed different organic substances to persist longer after death or whatever. But like, you know, you can't. It didn't do anything while it was alive. So there was a whole plot that I was gonna use a plot point. Like there was a whole like a whole murder conspiracy because he was murdered.
Oh wow.
Oh my.
That I just never got to.
Oh no, we would have loved to know about that. That would have been great.
They basically were just running tests on him and was like, well, I mean, what if we stick him in this virtual reality thing? I wonder how that'll go. And so they did that.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I was like, oh, it'll be a neat dynamic trying to like figure out why like how it all happened from inside a simulation.
Oh dang! Now I'm just like, that would have been such a good thing. Like that would have been such a good thing to like incorporate in Arc 2, because a lot of Arc 2 was about Kano and Mousy doing these experiments, and like that's really that's like
especially
really
experimenting games during that time would have been
right.
I had a plan for how I was gonna do it, and it was gonna be like I've mentioned it before that I was gonna be originally I was planning on being even more grindy because I had this whole thing that I was gonna collect every single item in the game. You know?
Yeah, you had mentioned that,
and then I happened.
Yeah, and then people just want to do lore with you because lore. So
getting all the items, I would have like found these random notes that would have like pointed like in the direction of, ooh, there's something here.
Right.
And then I just, because people decided to just do lore with me, I just never got to all the collecting that I wanted to do, so I never got that plot point in, never got the little papers, which is actually why the papers and everything like that were the reason that I decided to do like the book and the bit of paper that I did end up doing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I have a question for everyone. So what is the one thing that you guys regret about Eden, or that you wish would have happened that didn't happen?
I wish I got to actually. I wish I was the one who stayed. I wish I would have just like actually. I wish I would have like conferred with people more and like been like, hey, this is something that I actually want to do, rather than just me kind of sitting there. But I mean, like, I'm also happy with how it ended.
Right.
Like,
I'm happy with how it ended too.
Yeah. In terms of thing that I regret. Oh goodness.
So basically, like I regret not killing Gabe. I didn't get my blaze of glory.
Yeah, I mean, it would have worked story-wise if Gabe had sacrificed himself. I'm gonna say that, like, and I was on board with that.
Honestly, that's what I was expecting during the time, and then I got that message.
Right, yeah.
Because I threw the idea at Pink with like the bit that I said, and from the response that I got from Pink, it was basically like she wasn't giving me anything to like work with to like give myself a better reason to stay. It was just like immediately shot down, and I was like, okay, so this is not what the plan is. Cool.
Right, yeah.
Whatever.
I think I regret not doing more with Lauren in terms of our lore, because I feel like, but also like her character was really closed off, and that was a big reason why the OGs and the newbies from Arc 2 were just like so distant from each other, because she didn't trust anyone. And I like really did, out of character, I really did want to like do more stuff with her, and even in Arc 3 as well. But it was just like she was kind of doing her own stuff and I was doing my own stuff, and we had like our own different things going on, and our schedules didn't really work out in that kind of way. But yeah, I'm glad we ended up like doing a little bit more towards the end of Arc 3, but that was only because like I got memories back and I was able to actually do things that were helping the cause of getting out. Even though that's like kind of what Rachel was looking for in Arc 2. So yeah, I suppose that's
in major retrospect, I think I could have done some stuff with like Seth and Tyser more, and that would have been really fun for me.
Right. Yeah.
Because I think from the bit that I have talked to Seth, I think that we would have had a neat dynamic similar to Fang and I, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I also
with when they stream and how frequently they stream, I don't think it was really realistic that it would happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a decent amount with Tyser, but that was also because he was just HR and we were just kind of like together. I really didn't have a ton of interaction with him in Arc 2. Neither with Misty either, because those two were always together because they were doing their whole therapy thing, and I never took part in that.
Dude, I so wanted the plot point of like people trying to assassinate Tyser.
I know.
I wanted that to go through so bad. No. That would have been like my favorite thing. Because like I had like 3 people offer like try to pay me to kill Tyser.
And then the final day. And then the final day, Tyser's like, "Oh, where's my book?" The book was gone on that final day. And I don't know what he was planning in terms of like how that happened, but I'm pretty sure that, like, in terms of my canonical theory, is that Unknown took the book and used it to get all of to make those escape rooms.
And I would have been able to, like, there could have been a, like, actual, like, PvP plot points there. I could have, like, actually just gone and killed people. Oh, it would have been so good. And it just didn't happen. And I was like, oh,
Right.
okay. I would have been fun. Then I could have given Tyser armor way earlier.
Oh, poor Tyser.
Right.
That was a missed plot point, I suppose.
Yeah.
By the way, off topic. Once I saw you guys, like, I was. Once I saw you guys, like, in that, I looked at you guys and I'm like, oh my gosh, you all look so epic. So that's why I took those screenshots. So.
Yeah, we were all in our colored
so
netherite thanks to Gabe.
Yeah, I didn't mean to.
You literally gave us all of our runes, I'm pretty sure.
I was expecting I'd have to give more people armor. I had like 3 extra sets. I gave Seth like 3 sets and I still had 2 more.
You gave him 3 sets? You could have given me one of those. Eve wanted one.
Well,
did Eve need one of them? Like, did she need
No,
it?
not really. She ended up not going.
Yeah.
But it would have been cool.
Yeah. Does anyone have any more questions from the chats? Are you seeing anything?
Please.
You seeing anything in your chat, Sydney?
I only have a viewer. A lot of my viewers left. They got bored.
That's fine.
Or they had other things to do.
Yeah. It's okay. Yeah, same here. But yeah, for the people who are still sticking around, if you don't have any more questions, I think I am going to be wrapping it up on my end.
I think I like talked everything that I wanted to talk from.
Yeah. Are you gonna keep streaming, Sydney?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep streaming. This is just me hanging out and chilling.
Okay. I'm probably gonna send a raid over to you then.
Alright, sounds cool.
So yeah. Oliver, you've got one? Alright, let's hear it. And hopefully it's Eden related, because if it's not Eden related, that's just a conversation for another time.
Yeah. But honestly, overall, I loved playing all these different characters and being Eve and being all the other different spirits. I just adore it.
Yeah, how did you even, like... Because they were all so different.
Yeah, I give them all different personalities and everything. So what I did, I had my own personal dots. I actually did not even say this in my own stream, so this is the first time any of my viewers will be hearing this. So, yeah, I had my own Google Docs of each and every little character that I be, and so the way I have little notes of what they say or what they do, especially the banana bread ghost, which is Matt Spirit.
Yeah. Did you like incorporate? Yeah. Did you like incorporate like their like actual personalities into it?
I kind of did. Like I imagined the bad head ghost. I forgot their name.
Gerard, Blade of Darkness.
Oh yes, that name. Beautiful name, by the way. Thank you for that.
I named like 90% of the things in that something with a J name, and I realized it halfway through, and then I just fully committed it.
The first name was Fives, and I'm like, that's a lame name. Come on, you can better than this.
You can't just call Fives from Star Wars Clone Wars lame.
I'm sorry, I don't watch Star Wars.
You're saying, I wish you told Misty's Ghost about me sooner, but I think it's too late. I mean, Misty's Ghost... numbers? Misty's Ghost was technically, Sydney anyway, so it's not like it was getting back to Misty herself. So you would have... So if I had mentioned you to Misty's Ghost, it would have just been kind of going back to Sydney, who already knows that, you know, who already knows about you guys, who already knows about you as the Bubbles. So, yeah.
That way. With the dash to the 3. So it was just my name. I'm very creative. And then I was talking to Kano. I had not told him this. And he was just like, well, it's got like the same amount of numbers as your name, or the same number of characters as your name. And it also ends in a 3, and I'm like, no, Kano, you can't just expose me like I thought he was just gonna expose me live. Luckily, he did not. I was just like, oh yeah. That's weird.
Funny enough, you end up exploding seeing yourself now. It's all on stream now, so.
Well, I'm not in lore anymore, so it matters not. Yeah, that was a thing.
What was the question again? I completely forgot.
Was there a question? Am I dumb?
It wasn't a question. It wasn't a question.
Oh, it was about me talking about the spirits and everything.
Okay. Yeah.
So like how I said, I did how to Google dots and everything, and also I had the presets of the commands. So basically, with the one of the mods, there is like the skins mods that we had, where I got to change right on there. So I had to change both my name and the skin pretty much like at the same time. So I would just put down the skin first, and then I would also copy the name, and then as soon as I put down the skin, I would put in the name next immediately, so the way it feels like it just somebody else came on, quote unquote. And also I would change the arm length too, because with that mod, I did my research on how to do all that, because it's very important. It's very important stuff to keep in mind when you're switching between each character and know what skins there are.
Great. If that's it, then I think I am going to end off. And it's 9:30, so that's perfect timing. So I'll be right back. Alright guys, that's gonna be it for me. So thank you so much for watching my stream. If you have any more questions about Eden, feel free to ask in the EdenSMP chat on my Discord, or in, the EdenSMP community Discord, or wherever you can find me. Feel free to ask anything you'd like. So yeah, that's gonna be it. I'm gonna send you over to Sydney, and we're going to go and send her the love. Make sure to use As Bubbles We Rise as our raid message. And I'll see you guys on Thursday for Minecraft, for more Minecraft stuff. So yeah, I'll see you then. Bye! Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed.